everyone, I am Ruchika Bhardwaj and today we will be doing the essay orientation program. This is for the first time that I am doing it online, otherwise it has always been offline and it has been very interactive session. But anyhow, this is the most viable option right now. So we would try to use or utilize this option in the best possible manner. We would try to make it interactive in whatever manner we could. So before we start this, I would again say that though it's an online session, but please try to pay full attention. If I am asking you questions, you try to answer it there. You have your pen and pencil or paper with you, and whatever discussions we would be doing, please you try to write it. You try to, if I am asking you a question, if I am asking you to brainstorm, you write it down, so that it seems interactive and you are able to gauge yourself. Where am I standing right now? Am I on the right track, or do I have a different view which is equally good? So let us begin this session. Before we go ahead with this, I would say that there are certain myths about this essay paper. And what are the common myths about this essay paper? The myths about this essay paper is that this is a very difficult paper, especially who are from technical background, and that too when we have to write philosophical essays. Then another myth is, if I am not good in English, if I do not have a very good vocabulary or lexicon, I am not going to score good marks in essay. Then another myth is that though because we have studied a lot for GS, essay to ho hi jata hai, we can do it, no need to practice about this. Bas kya karna hai, we have to go there and we have to write history, geography, historical, geographical, economic, philosophical, cultural kind of dimensions, and the essay would be completed. Then there are also myths that ki bas khali introduction theek likh do, conclusion theek likh do, beech mein bas kuch bhi just fill it up and we are going to get marks. I would again say that these are just myths. Myths because, see, if we are just going to write about different dimensions, we are not going to get very good marks. If we are saying that we do not have a very good vocabulary, even then we are getting very good marks. Many of the people with technical background, initially there is a kind of an inertia. एक hitch होती है कि हम लिख नहीं पाएंगे essay को. So all these are myths. Please come out of these myths. Essay is a very, very interesting paper. And this is one paper where you can take a lead from others. This is one paper where UPSC is giving you all the opportunity to express yourself freely. Because generally when you see your GS papers, almost all the toppers are writing almost similar kind of content, because there is no much scope of deviation. If they are asking you, say for example, recent labor reforms, you cannot deviate from that. Whatever are the reforms, you have to write that. If they are asking you about the latest education policy, you cannot deviate. If they are asking you about the geopolitics of South China Sea, you cannot deviate. The only thing that is important there is in your GS is how you are presenting and how important points, what are the important points, whether you are pinpointing those points or not. But in case of essay, we see there is a huge margin between people who are scoring very good and those who are not scoring very good. Sometimes it's a range of 100 marks, 70 and 170. People are getting good ranks because of essay. People are not in the list because of essay. So this is a very, very interesting paper. Here you are free किसी तरह की कोई बाउंडेशन नहीं होती है। सो जो भी आपके मिथ्स हैं कि बस इतना सा कर लो ऐसे हो जाएगा, या ऐसे तो हम कभी कर ही नहीं सकते, इसलिए नो नीड टू प्रैक्टिस बिकॉज हमारा टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड रहा है और हम हमेशा जो है मैथ्स में रहे हैं, साइंस में रहे हैं, तो ऐसे तो इट्स नॉट आवर कप ऑफ टी। इसलिए किसी भी तरह बस जैसे तैसे जस्ट कंप्लीट दिस पेपर, प्लीज don't do that. This is a very, very scoring paper. If you see the example of this year's 8th ranker, Abhishek Saraf, he was not in the list with good ranks in his initial attempts just because of essay. Then same is the example with 63 ranker. Yogesh Patil, even he was having this problem because of the essay. In the initial attempts he was not having a good rank. So that's why I'm saying that this is one paper where with just little hard work we can score very good marks, and these marks are very, very important for us to lead towards our destination. So further, usually I begin the session with what is given by UPSC for essays. But this time I thought let us first discuss about what are the common mistakes that we do in the essay paper. Generally you see many of the people, they would come and they would say that कि थोड़ी mistakes हो गई. And over the period of time, with experience, I have realized there are some very common mistakes which we do in the essay paper. So let us see what are the common mistakes. One of the most common mistake, and it is not just with respect to only essay paper, even in our GS paper also, one of the most common mistake is to take these papers not very seriously. We do not take these papers very seriously. कुछ भी आता है बस जाके हमने लिखना है, ऐसे है चाहे ethics है, even in GS also we know a little, बस जाके लिखना है, ठीक है. So this is a very common mistake. Why I'm saying this is a common mistake? Because this is a competition. If we are not doing the best, if we are just doing your average, we are doing a big mistake, because average means you are getting an average score, and average score means we are again writing the exam next time, or we are not getting the desired ranks. So this is a very common mistake, to take this paper, essay paper, very, very lightly. Especially जो first timers होते हैं, they think that अभी तो GSE complete हो जाए, essay में तो जाके हम कुछ भी लिख लेंगे. And those who are veterans or those who are writing this exam mains, they are writing mains for 3rd time, 4th time, they think that हमारे पास तो बहुत ज़्यादा knowledge इकट्ठा हो गया over the period of time, कुछ तो हम लिख ही लेंगे. So या तो कुछ भी लिखना है जाके, या कुछ तो हमारे पास इतना है उसमें से कुछ तो लिख के somehow we can pass this essay paper with good marks. So that is something, is a very, very common mistake with this paper, that this paper is highly ignored. Don't ignore this paper. Then another mistake with this is that we are not prepared for the process. See, this paper is like a journey. It's a 3-hour journey. And when we travel, as a traveler, if we are well prepared, if we have to go from say Delhi to Uttarakhand, and we know on the way what all kind of problems might happen, we are well prepared. And if we are not well prepared, then what happens is when we go there, we come back and then we think, अगली बार जाएंगे तो ये चीज़ों के लिए we will be preparing ourselves. पहले से ही हम तैयारी करके जाएंगे. Same happens with UPSC. कि this is a journey. Sometimes you know the destination very well. Means questions आपके वही questions आते हैं where you are most comfortable. Sometimes you don't know the destination very well, but कुछ idea होता है, और कभी कभी आपको बिल्कुल ही नहीं पता है कि आपको जाना कहाँ है, क्या मोड है, क्या problems आ सकती हैं. Same is the problem here. Sometimes we know that yes, we are prepared for this topic, we have prepared on these issues and we got the essay. Very good. Sometimes we know only a little bit about the topic, किसी तरह मैनेज करते हैं, एंड समटाइम्स हमें कुछ भी नहीं पता होता है, एंड वी हैव टू राइट दैट topic. So वहाँ पे हम well prepared अगर नहीं हो, we are not prepared for the process, then we come out of the examination hall and then we say next time essay के लिए तैयार होके जाना है. So that is what I am saying, that we are not prepared for the process. This is a process where if you are a well prepared traveler or just a spontaneous traveler. So the thing is, we are not prepared, and when we are not prepared, what kind of mistakes do we generally commit in this process? First mistake is that often we have seen is we are not able to understand the topic. It's a very common problem, not able to understand the topic. Now what happens is, sometimes, say for example, my optional is sociology, and if I see a social topic in the essay, I would just start writing whatever I know about that topic. Or my optional is PSIR and I see a IR related question for essay, I would start, writing whatever I know about that. I would start putting in theories, I will start using your international relations jargons, जो भी आपके thinkers हैं, theories हैं, सब कुछ हम उसमें डाल देंगे. But we need to understand, first thing is we need to understand the topic well. अगर हम topic को ठीक से नहीं समझते हैं and then people come out of the examination hall and they say that हमने तो सब कुछ लिखा, we have written everything, but ऐसे में नंबर ही नहीं आते हैं. पता नहीं यूपीएससी को क्या चाहिए, because we are just understanding the topic the way we want, because we have read somewhere कि non aligned movement हमने पढ़ा है PSIR में, टॉपिक में है, तो चलो अब इसको जो आता है सब लिख दो. No, UPSC does not want to know what all knowledge you have. It only wants कि जो हमने पूछा है उससे related आप सही आंसर दे रहे हैं या नहीं. So first problem with this essay paper is many times we are not able to understand the topic well, and when we are not able to understand the topic well, iska repercussion is what? Time management becomes a problem. Why time management becomes a problem? Because what happens is कि अगर हमें topic समझ में नहीं आता है and then we start writing, then we cut it, then we again start writing, क्योंकि आधे में हमने पहले topic को नहीं समझा, लिखना start कर दिया, then we realize कि no, topic is asking something else. तो आपका टाइम मैनेजमेंट की प्रॉब्लम होती है. टाइम मैनेजमेंट में और क्या प्रॉब्लम होती है? समटाइम्स व्हेन वी आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द प्रोसेस, मींस अगर हमने पहले होमवर्क नहीं किया है, अनएक्सपेक्टेड टॉपिक्स से अगर ऐसे आ जाते हैं, तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि पहले तो हमें ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करने में आधा टाइम लग जाता है. समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि जो आपका फर्स्ट टॉपिक है जिसमें यू आर कंफर्टेबल, यू आर गिविंग लाइक से 2 hours टू दैट, दूसरा टॉपिक किसी तरह बस रश हश वी आर गोइंग टू फिनिश इट. सो टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज अनदर प्रॉब्लम इन द एसेज. जनरली वी हैव सीन मेनी पीपल से एक ऐसे तो अच्छा लिख दिया, दूसरा नहीं, क्योंकि वी हैव नॉट बीन राइटिंग इट, वी हैव नॉट बीन प्रिपेयरिंग अबाउट इट, बिकॉज हमें ये कॉन्फिडेंस है कि हमने इतना पढ़ा, कुछ तो लिख देंगे, बट कुछ तो लिख देंगे, वहां जाके टाइम मैनेजमेंट बिकम्स अ प्रॉब्लम. वी आर नॉट एबल टू गिव सफिशिएंट टाइम टू द सेकेंड essay. I am not saying that it has to be equally divided 50-50. It is not possible, because anyways first answer, first essay, first question always takes time. एक बार जब flow बन जाता है तो दूसरा वाला जो है वो थोड़े कम टाइम में हो जाता है. But we have to give due justice to both the topics. जो कि टाइम मैनेजमेंट की प्रॉब्लम होती है. क्यों होती है? बिकॉज हमने प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया होता है. So that also is a very common problem. First is understanding of the topic is a very common problem, because हमको जो आता था हमने सब लिखा, बट टॉपिक कुछ और बोल रहा है, बाहर आके समझ में आता है टॉपिक कुछ और बोल रहा था, हमने लिखा कुछ और है. दूसरा, व्हाट इज द सेकंड प्रॉब्लम? सेकंड प्रॉब्लम इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू योर टाइम मैनेजमेंट. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी कॉमन प्रॉब्लम. मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स वुड से कि टाइम मैनेजमेंट जो होता है वो नहीं हो पाता है. देन third problem with respect to this is your content management. Now, what is this content management? There are different things that come under this content management. So, first thing is generation of content. That becomes a problem because we have never done any practice. वही जाके हमने फर्स्ट टाइम लिखा है. सो कंटेंट मैनेजमेंट, हाउ टू डू ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग, हाउ टू सी विच कंटेंट इज मोर रेलिवेंट, विच इज नॉट. एंड समटाइम्स इट हैपेंस दैट मेनी ऑफ देम वुड से दैट ये पॉइंट आई वाज व्हेन आई वाज डूइंग द ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग मेरे दिमाग में तो था, लेकिन पूरा लिखने के बाद आई रियलाइज कि ये तो मैं लिखना ही भूल गया लास्ट में. So I could not write that content. So that is also your content का जो mismanagement होता है. First thing is how to do the brainstorming. That becomes a problem. Then sometimes is we are not able to recall. Sometimes when we start writing, we have the content in mind. We have the points in mind. लेकिन पूरे process में somewhere we get lost and we are not able to write the content. We miss on that content. That is also a problem. Then content का flow means एक sequence. That is how to arrange the content in a sequence. That also becomes a problem. There sometimes when you read an article, there is a proper flow, there is a proper sequence. तो वो चीज़ आपकी जो है content इसमें mismanagement हो जाता है. Then और एक problem क्या होती है कि right mix of your content, concept and facts. इसका जो right mix है, that also is a problem, one of the problems of your content management. Now, what do I mean by this is concept and facts. See, generally it is said that essay है तो सिर्फ facts लिख दो. But very honestly, essay is a test of your personality. You are introducing your thought process to the reader. So your reader is gauging you through your writings. So they are not focusing on the facts. They are more concerned about your concepts on that particular issue. So there has to be a right mix of facts and concept. Supposedly we have got a question like, can capitalism bring inclusive growth? खाली facts देने से नहीं होगा, आपको concept भी आपका clear होना चाहिए कि कहाँ है, क्यों है, कहाँ कैपिटलिज्म ने किया, कहाँ नहीं किया. So there has to be a right mix of your concept as well as your facts. Now, it also varies with essay. Say for example, you have some technical essay. Suppose we have some technical essay. Technical essay is there. It's on say space है आपका. जेनेटिक्स के ऊपर आपको कोई ऐसे आ जाता है, AI के ऊपर you are getting an essay. In these kind of essays, of course, facts would be more. We would be writing more of the facts. And there are essays where they are asking you question marks or opinion-based essays, like opinion-based essays. Opinion-based essays. Now, in case of your opinion-based essays, the examiner is not much interested in your facts, but the examiner is more interested in your logic. He or she is more interested in your rationale. So, what is the rationale based on which you are giving this opinion? So, we have to have a right mix of concept and facts. That is also a very common problem. Generally, हमारे पास, because we read economic survey, we read India yearbook, every day we are reading so many reports. So we have lots and lots of facts. But many times we forget that this is an essay paper, which the requirement is completely different here. Had there been no different requirement, then there would have not been essay paper. Because generally, space, genetics, artificial intelligence, federalism, capitalism, these are the topics which could be easily and which are being asked in GS papers, but still they are asking these topics in essay as well. Same topic in GS, same topic in essay. So they are not expecting the same from you. in both GS and essay. Essay may they need something else. So that is why it is not only facts. We have to have a right mix of your facts and concept. Right mix of facts and concepts. It is again I would say that जो हम process करके नहीं जाते हैं, we are not prepared for the process, we are not prepared for the journey. तो facts आते हैं तो हम हर किस्म के ऐसे में we are just fulfilling the demand through facts. Or if we are more strong on concept, we are not using facts and figures to substantiate our reasoning, substantiate our points. So that is also a very, very common mistake, that we do not understand where, in which kind of essays we need more facts, in which kind of essays we need more rational, in which kind of essays we need more concepts. And these things become clear only when we do the practice, which we generally ignore in essay papers. Practicing is something that is, most of the people say that essay में इसको कोई बात नहीं, वहाँ जाके कुछ ना कुछ we are going to write. So this is also a very, very common mistake that we have observed. Now, content में you have content management first, how to think upon the content, that is a problem. How to arrange your content in a logical flow, that is also a problem. Content में what should be the right mix between your concept and facts, that is also a problem. Then another thing is content hai to how to arrange the content, introduction, conclusion, that also becomes a problem. So what happens is many times when we start brainstorming, people start thinking about introduction. इंट्रोडक्शन सोचते हैं पहले एंड देन उसके ऊपर आप अपना कंटेंट बनाते हो, रादर गो इन द रिवर्स ऑर्डर. अगर इफ यू हैव डिफरेंट कंटेंट्स तो उसको अगर आप इफ यू आर जॉइनिंग द डॉट्स तो कहीं ना कहीं आप अपने आप ही इंट्रोडक्शन तक पहुंच जाते हो. सो दैट ऑल्सो बिकम्स अ प्रॉब्लम. एंड नाउ दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इंट्रोडक्शन एंड कंक्लूजन, सी दिस इंट्रोडक्शन कंक्लूजन, when we talk about introduction, we talk about conclusion. Now, what are the common mistakes here? Introduction, body and conclusion. ये जो आपके introduction, body and conclusion होता है, these are called your impression points. I call them impression points. Impression points, because see, generally what happens is we are not writing very impressive introductions. तो कहीं ना कहीं it becomes an average essay. Sometimes we are just ending up in haste. We are not writing very impactful conclusion. तो भी आपका जो impression जो है, first impression, last impression, everything matters. Impression, introduction is like we can say that it's like an entry of a hero in the film. Say like in films like Rajnikant or Amitabh Bachchan, or you can talk about Salman Khan and so many other heroes, entry hoti, then we say wah kya entry thi. So that is similar, is like, because the copy checker is going through so many copies every day. तो अगर एक कोई बहुत ही धमाकेदार एंट्री होती है, धमाकेदार इंट्रोडक्शन होती है, then the reader gets very like engrossed in the whole essay कि यार इसकी एंट्री इतनी धमाकेदार है, and he becomes very curious to go further. So that is your impression point, is your introduction. Then the body. Now that we are talking about movies, okay, so entry of the hero is, it's your introduction is like the entry of the hero, where you are mesmerized to see, or you are amazed to see, you are surprised to see, wow, aisa bhi ho sakta. That wow kind of a thing comes through your introduction, the opening part. And then body. Body is, if we can correlate it, the body is like a art movie. Where you see the movie is going on, there is no dhamakedar entry of your hero, but yes, the movie is giving you a message. It is linking you with the reality. Let us take an example. Most of you might have seen the Gandhi movie. The entry of the hero, the Gandhiji was just a platform. जहाँ पे he was, he was thrown out of the moving train. So that was the entry. But when you see the whole film, it leaves an impact, it leaves an impression in your mind. So that is what is your impression point. The body, the content, that also is an impression point. And then conclusion, that is the climax of the movie. We say, wow, what was the climax? So that is what? Introduction, body and conclusion. Everything is very, very important to fetch good marks in an essay. Average marks तो आपको आराम से आ जाते हैं, but we need to score very good marks so that we can have an edge. GS में बहुत ज़्यादा मार्जिन नहीं होता है आपका. essay के पेपर में you can have a big margin. So यहाँ पे मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम गलती हो जाती है कि हमारे पास या तो इंट्रोडक्शन हम बहुत धमाकेदार लिखते हैं एंड व्हेन यू सी द एंट्री ऑफ अ हीरो देन यू एक्सपेक्ट कि आगे भी कुछ अच्छा करेगा. ठीक है, एंट्री इतनी धमाकेदार हुई तो आगे भी फिल्म अच्छी होगी, लेकिन एंट्री धमाकेदार हो गई एंड देन द मूवी इज नॉट दैट गुड, देन यू लूज इंटरेस्ट. सेम हैपन्स हियर. Many times we have seen that many of the people say introduction बहुत तगड़ा होना चाहिए, बीच में कुछ भी कर दो. No, बीच में कुछ भी कर दो means the reader is losing interest. आपका मूवी में इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो रहा है, उसी तरह जो रीडर है, एग्जामिनर है, उसका भी आपके इसमें इंटरेस्ट खत्म होते जा रहा है, लूज होते जा रहा है. So we need to have good introduction, a balanced body and a good conclusion. इनमें से generally people focus only on this or this, और बीच में कुछ जगह we do it और कुछ जगह तो बस just we are fulfilling the number of words requirement. So that is why this is also a mistake, that we are not properly focusing on each and every aspect. हम लिख तो सब देते हैं लेकिन वो average लिखते हैं. And in the beginning only I said that writing average, writing normal is again a mistake, because then you are fetching average marks, you are writing again next year. So the thing is, that is, don't ignore any part. इसको ignore नहीं करो, इसको ignore नहीं करो, इसको ignore नहीं करो. We have to have all the parts perfect. So that is also a mistake. Now, okay, these are impression points, your introduction, body language. And then another important thing that is missed is your presentation. That is also a very, very common problem. We have content, many people have content, but the presentation is lacking in the essays or in your answers, for that matter, even in GS. You have the content, but presentation is lacking. And then you are not getting marks. Getting marks means when I say getting marks means I am talking about good marks. Average तो मिल जाते हैं, वो average marks हमारे किसी काम के नहीं होते हैं. So what we need is, because when we are in this fray, we are in this competition, everyone is eyeing for the topmost positions. So presentation, इसमें भी बहुत common errors होते हैं. Presentation में आपका, I still remember Ira Singhal. She was All India first ranker. She said in her last attempt, she did not do anything for her content. She only worked and worked upon her presentation. And many of the people who are getting selected constantly and they are every time they are going for rank improvement, they are basically working on their presentation as well as content enrichment. So presentation is very, very, very important aspect. Don't think कि presentation content से काम चलता है. Content तो है. It's like, say for example, you have gone for a dinner, you have been invited by a very rich person for dinner. So there was a buffet, there were so many items, food items there, so many people were there, कहीं धक्का लग रहा है, कहीं आप खा पा रहे हैं, कहीं नहीं खा पा रहे हैं. So that is, you don't feel happy. On the other hand, a very poor person has invited you. He has not given you many dishes. He has just simply given you rice and dal. But he has done the proper arrangement. ठीक से बैठाया, साफ सुथरा था, आपको खिलाया, कहीं धक्का मुक्का, कहीं पे there was no hodgepodge. So you cherish that. and you appreciate that. So the thing is कि content आपके पास भले अच्छा ना हो, लेकिन अगर वो आपने ठीक से present किया हो, it is very very impactful. Presentation is, if it is presented, if an ordinary content is presented in a very good manner, it leaves the impression. But if there is very good content, but your presentation is not good, you are not going to get good marks. So presentation में generally क्या दिक्कत होती? One thing is, first thing, like most of us are not well prepared for essay, so there is no clarity of thoughts how to write. Then what happens? There are so many cuttings. इधर cutting है, उधर cutting है, चार line लिखा है, we have cut that. This does not leave a good impression. This shows that, because again I am repeating it, that essay is a personality test. So this shows that you are a confused personality, because writing, cutting, neatness is very very important. Then many times we draw diagrams also. We'll talk about it later. We draw diagrams also. ठीक से पहले तैयारी नहीं की है, proper labeling नहीं है, आपने क्या बनाया है, क्या है, किसको label करना है, you have not done it. So there is no neatness. Presentation आपकी proper नहीं होगी. And then when you are presenting something, you are giving you are highlighting the best of your items, best of your points. So proper highlighting nahi hai, so that is also, your neatness is gone there. Many times what happens is, I have come across people, they would say that, ma'am, we have highlighted the essay, हमने उसमें लाल, पीला, नीला हर रंग करके बहुत अच्छे से highlight किया था, हर important point को highlight किया था, लेकिन जो था, we have not got marks in the essay. See, highlighting is just like, I'll give you a very common example which everyone can relate to. Have you ever been to a party or anywhere where you have disco lights and all those things? So what happens when there is a dancing platform or a disco light is there? There are so many lights. You know, every time lights are like, they're twinkling like stars. You're not able to see anything very clearly. And then we have lighting system when we go to, like in our houses, we have one ordinary, we have a tube light and everything is there. We have, nothing is highlighted there. जिसको जो समझ में आ रहा है, इस कमरे में जो आपको important लग रहा है, आप खुद से उसको देखो. And third example of highlighting or lightning system is when we go to museums. Have you visited museums? There you would see that above every artifact, above every painting, they put the lights. It's not the whole of the room is lighted, or it's not like you have those disco kind of lights there, because they want to highlight the paintings, they want to highlight the artifacts, and that is why पूरे room में आपके museum में light नहीं होती है, वो artifacts के ऊपर होती है, and they want the people who are visiting the museum to move from light to light. मीन्स जो दिखाना चाहते हैं, जो हाईलाइट करना चाहते हैं आर्ट, उस आर्ट, एक आर्ट से दूसरे आर्ट, बीच में आपके बहुत सारे जो हैं डार्क पैचेस होंगे, वो इग्नोर हो जाते हैं. There might be dark patches, the wall of the museum might be very old, they might not be very well painted, but आपका ध्यान कहाँ जाता है? जो highlighted आपकी artifacts हैं. So you are somewhere ignoring the dark patches in between. So this is what is your highlighting. Generally क्या होता है, many people would come, and this is a very common mistake. हमने हर point को highlight किया, लाल, पीला, नीला. No, we do not need to make our essay like a disco light system. No, we do not need to do that. Neither we need to, you know, completely blank भी मत छोड़ो. अब highlight के लिए underline करना है या italics में लिखना है, we will discuss that now. But the thing is कि we need proper highlighting so that examiner moves from your one highlighted aspect to another. So बीच के जो dark patches हैं, sometimes they get ignored, and it is good for us. So these are some of the very common mistakes that we do. Most common mistake, we ignore this paper, we take it very lightly. and this is a very scoring paper. So we ignore it very lightly. We are not prepared for the process. हमें पता ही नहीं है वहाँ जाके अचानक से जब questions की bombardment होती है, and every year UPSC is giving you some questions where you are comfortable, but some questions like your abstract topics or philosophical topics where you need some practice or where you should have exceptions are always there. But yes, for a general public, for a common candidate, we need to have some kind of a preparation for that. So we do not do that. Then topic selection is a very much a problem because अपने optional से आ जाता है तो we take it on us कि भैया मेरे optional का है तो मैं तो इस पे ऐसे लिख ही नहीं सकता हूँ, मतलब कैसे छोड़ सकता हूँ, मुझे तो इस पे ही लिखना है. So that also becomes a problem because we start reflecting our optional in that particular topic, or sometimes we are not able to understand. इतनी जल्दी में होते हैं, एक वर्ड देखा empowerment, एक वर्ड देखा women, we start, but whether women empowerment का कौन सा aspect they are asking, we ignore it. We write whatever we know about women empowerment. So that also is a very common problem. Arranging the content is a problem. Then content is there but presentation is a problem. So these are some of the very, very common problems, and these are the problems that we generally come across when we are writing essays. Now let us see, अगर problems ये हैं तो हमें करना क्या है, what we need to do. So okay, now I'll remove this, and now let us see what we need to do, what UPSC is saying about this essay paper. Let us directly see it from UPSC only, कि UPSC बोल क्या रहा है इस पेपर के लिए, ठीक है? And then we'll talk on different aspects how to prepare. Okay, UPSC says that essay. Candidates may be required to write essays on multiple topics. Multiple topics means we have to write essays on multiple topics. Right now we are getting 2 topics, and the topics are from different arenas: social, economic, science and technology, then you have your international relations, internal security. So different multiple topics are there, so you have to write essays on multiple topics, and till date we are getting 2 sections. Each section has 4 questions. So 8 topics are given, we have to write 2. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay. Keep closely to the subject of the essay. This is what we said that while discussing what are the common problems in that we come across, is like we write whatever we know about that subject. But UPSC is saying that you please keep closely to the subject of the essay. जो आपका subject का demand है उसके close रहना है, rather than कि आपको जो आता है इस topic पे आपको सब कुछ लिखना है. Arrange the ideas in orderly fashion. That is what we say, we have discussed कि आपका जो content management में one of the problems is we are not able to arrange our ideas in a logical progression or in a logical manner with a logical flow. So UPSC is saying that arrange their ideas in orderly fashion and to write concisely. The word limit is given. It is 1200 words per essay. We have to write 2400 words are there. So that is your maximum limit. But that does not mean that we have to go for maximum. That's the maximum. We have seen that people are getting good scores with writing a very impactful essays with just 750 words or 800 words. Then credit will be given for effective and exact expression. Credit will be given for effective and exact expression. Now, effective and exact expression, how it will come? Again, if you go back, we have just discussed now, some time back, what are the common problems? When we have, while discussing that content management is a problem, in that we have discussed there should be a proper balance depending on the demand of the question. There should be a proper balance between your facts and concepts. So effectiveness and exactness would come when we have a proper mix of both. आपका proper mix होगा तो आप exactness भी लाओगे, आपका effective भी होगा. When you are giving facts, when you are giving examples, it becomes more effective. When you are writing some quotations or poetry, it becomes very effective. So that is what you have to have, a proper ratio proportion between your concepts and facts. That's why I thought let us now first begin with what are the common problems in the essay. So common problems वो है और UPSC ये बोल रहा है, तो अब हमें करना क्या है? So what is a good essay? Now we'll talk about it. So again, I'll just briefly and very quickly read this. Candidates will be required to write essays on multiple topics. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay, to arrange their ideas in orderly fashion, and to write concisely. Credit will be given for effective and exact expression. Now, let us talk about essay. Now, first try to understand why UPSC is asking the essay. What is the purpose of essay? Through essay paper, they are trying to gauge your thought process. Again, I am repeating the similar lines that I have said some time back only. This is a personality test where you are not sitting in front of them, rather you are showing your personality through your writings. Okay, we know people through their writings. We know this is a C. Raja Mohan article, so it is going to be like this. We know that this is a Nirupama Rao article, this is going to be like this. We know that this is so-and-so's book, so it has to be like, it is a Gandhiji's book, it has to be like this. We know that this is a book by some other scholar, it has to be, because everyone has their own niche. So, your personality is reflected. They are testing your knowledge, they are testing your linguistic skills, they are testing your ability of analysis, everything under this one paper. So essay has a different purpose. We first need to understand what is the purpose of this, because otherwise क्या होता है, वो right mix नहीं हो पाता है, या तो हम concept देते रहते हैं या फिर हम अपना जो है facts देते रहते हैं. But the essay का purpose समझ में आएगा, तब हमें समझ में आएगा कि how to write good essays. Now, what is a good essay? A good essay, there is no one definition about good essay, because we cannot say that this is the best essay. Essay is something जो कि आपके reader को bind कर जाए. There are so many good essays. Some people might like it, but some people might not like it. So there is subjectivity, but let us forget about subjectivity. There are certain things which are going to qualify that yes, this is a decently written essay. So what is a good essay? No one parameter to judge it, but yes, still we can say that a good essay is one which represents your knowledge. Knowledge in the sense which, like say for example, this time the essay topic was wisdom leads to truth, something like that. Okay, wisdom, let me see the topic. Wisdom finds truth. Now, wisdom finds truth. That was the topic number 1 in 2019. So, it is trying, a good essay is where you are showing your knowledge. Knowledge means in all dimensions, length, breadth, depth, on that issue of wisdom, on that issue of truth. So you have to show your knowledge. Knowledge is not that, it's not only limited to the knowledge that you are acquiring through your GS paper or the knowledge that you have acquired during the journey of this preparation for UPSC. Knowledge that you have learned through your experience in say these 20 years of your life. School का कोई आपका example हो सकता है, आपकी family का कोई हो सकता है, you might have traveled somewhere and you have observed something there. So जितना भी आपका knowledge है, जिस भी तरह से आपने knowledge इकट्ठा किया है, तो that shows, we say that this person is very learned. आप किसी से बात करते हैं तो we say that this person is very learned. Learned in the sense कि उसको बहुत सारी चीज़ों के बारे में पता है, अपने लाइफ के एक्सपीरियंसेस से उसको रिलेट करके आपको समझा पा रहा है. तो दैट इज़ व्हाट इट, अ गुड एसे इज़ वन विच रिफ्लेक्ट्स योर स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ योर नॉलेज. इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स योर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन स्किल्स. जो आपने नॉलेज गेन किया है उसको आप कितना समझ पा रहे हो और कितने इजी तरीके से उसको आगे समझा पा रहे हो. सो दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉम्प्रिहेंशन. द नॉलेज दैट यू हैव गेन्ड ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, हाउ यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दैट नॉलेज एंड हाउ यू आर मेकिंग अदर पीपल अंडरस्टैंड इन अ बेस्ट पॉसिबल सिंपल मैनर. सो दैट इज व्हाट इट टेस्ट योर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन. देन इट ऑल्सो टेस्ट योर एब्जॉर्प्शन स्किल्स. आपका जो है how you are absorbing and condensing that knowledge, that is also tested here. It also tests your assessment. A good essay is reflecting your assessment skills. Why I'm saying assessment skills? Because on a particular topic while brainstorming we come across n number of points. N number of points are there. Now you have to assess there, you have to take decision there which points have to be written and in what order. 50 पॉइंट आते हैं ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग के टाइम पे. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू राइट ऑल द 50 पॉइंट्स देयर. वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर जजमेंट कि हमने कौन सा लिखना है, किसको टॉप प्रायोरिटी देनी है, किसको लीस्ट प्रायोरिटी देनी है. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स इज व्हाट इज योर असेसमेंट स्किल्स. इट टेस्ट योर एनालिसिस स्किल्स. आपका जो है एनालिसिस का जो है, अ गुड एसे इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग योर एनालिटिकल स्किल्स. अ गुड एसे इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग योर इंटरलिंकेजेस स्किल. बिकॉज देयर is a topic, say for example you have got a scientific topic, you have got a artificial intelligence topic. This could be easily written in your GS paper, but here they are asking you, so you have to link artificial intelligence, you have to link genetics with the human aspect also. Whether you have that capability to link those scientific topics with the humane angle also or not. So it is a good essay is a reflection of your interlinking, your comprehension, your absorption of the knowledge, and then logical flow, your judgments based on logic, that is tested in your writings. So a good essay is reflecting that. A good essay is something which is reflecting your time management, your decision making skills, your logical comprehension, your proper reasoning, your proper flow. So if these things are there in an essay, it is said that it's a good essay. It's a logical essay. We come across many of the articles. कईयों को पढ़ के बहुत मजा आता, लगता है कितना we have learned a lot. कितने logical and कितने simple तरीके से they have explained the thing. So same is the story with a good essay. If the reader is interested to know अगले paragraph में क्या है, if you are able to engross the reader, it's a very good essay. And it has to be a balanced one. बहुत ज़्यादा आपको जो है a good UPSC essay, I would not say that it has to be taking only one aspect. You have to show the interlinking, you have to show the comprehension, you have to show your analytical skill, and more or less it should be a balanced essay. So that is what I believe is a decently good essay for UPSC, the definition of a good essay for UPSC. Now, an essay, generally people say that many of the toppers, you might have heard about them, many of the toppers, they talk that yes, a good essay आपको अपना कुछ लिखना है, you have to be very original, you are not there to do some invention or discovery. और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि जो आप सोच रहे हैं वो किसी और ने कभी सोचा ही नहीं होगा. 10 लाख बच्चे बैठते हैं, 5 लाख 4 लाख मेंस देते हैं इसमें, तो 2 लाख मेंस दे रहे हैं, 4 लाख दे रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं you would find that someone else is also writing a similar viewpoint. So how it is your original? Because people say कि original होना चाहिए, ऐसे original होना चाहिए. Original is your writing style. Original are the experiences that you are somewhere using it to substantiate the points, because what I have felt might be different with respect to what you have felt. So जो differences हैं, आपके अपने experiences हैं, those are very different. आपके अपने experience, आपका अपना writing style, so that makes your essay unique. Don't try to mug up the things. Many times people say that कुछ topics जो हैं, जो constantly आते हैं, उनको mug up कर लो. I would say that don't mug up, but yes, there are certain topics which are coming constantly. Say for example, environment के ऊपर आता है, science के ऊपर आता है, empowerment के ऊपर आता है. So you prepare something on that, course रख लो, facts रख लो, some dimensions रख लो, कोई case studies है, you prepare that rather than just mugging up the things. That is not going to help you the way they are asking you questions now. So this is all about a good essay. And now when we talk about essay, many of the people say that language plays a very, very important role in essay. Now language, okay. Language is there, content is there. Or content, language is a part of your content. So is it a test of your language? Many times I have said that no, this is not the test of your language. Had it been the test of your language, then people with your literature background would have scored the highest in the essays. So this is not the test of your language, but of course, if you are willing to become an IAS officer, IPS officer, you are trying to become a civil servant, then their expectations are, of course they have certain expectations with respect to language, that your language should be grammatically correct. लैंग्वेज जो है आपकी ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट होनी चाहिए, आपकी लैंग्वेज जो है डिसेंट होनी चाहिए, पोलाइट होनी चाहिए, इम्प्रेसिव होनी चाहिए. डोंट राइट वेरी बिग सेंटेंसेस, because see, a good read is what? When you read NCERTs, you find them very good because you are very easily able to understand the lines. Vis-a-vis when you are reading a complex newspaper like Hindu, you find it really difficult. Initially, many of the students find it very difficult to understand the language. So the language should be simple as possible, so that what you are writing and what you want the reader to understand through your writing should be straightforward rather than complex language, very big sentences. Sometimes it happens, आपको बड़े-बड़े sentence लिखने की आदत है, आपको बड़े-बड़े jargons लिखने की आदत है. If you have that habit of writing very big sentences, I would suggest that, I would not say please don't do that, but I would suggest that get them checked through by your peers or anyone you feel that yes, this is the right person who can give me some feedback on that. Because what happens is कि हम अपने आप लिख करके we become narcissist. Wow, what a big sentence, what a amazing sentence, long amazing sentence I have written. But the point is, it's not to satisfy yourself, it is to satisfy UPSC. So ask your peer or ask your any person whom you trust, ask them to read it and try to find out whether the person is able to understand what you want to convey, or there is a gap between your writing and his understanding. So if there is a difference, it means लंबे सेंटेंस मत लिखो, because यहाँ पे you can explain, but in the examination hall you are not there in front of the examiner to explain what you are writing. So language should be simple, language should show positivity, it should show decency, language should be decent. It is expected from a would-be civil servant to use decent language, because we are not here to become politicians. We are here to become civil servants, and civil servants have to follow parliamentary decent language. So that is about language, and grammatical mistakes should not be there. Spelling mistakes should be avoided. And another thing when we are talking about this, कि language की बात होती है, supposedly I am writing the essay in English language, or you are writing the essay in say Hindi माध्यम से आप essay लिख रहे हो. So can we can we quote something from other language? Say for example, can I quote something from Rabindranath Tagore's Bengali poem? So yes, you can use another language, or if I am writing the essay in English, can I quote something from Sanskrit? Yes, I can use Sanskrit language here, but I would say that there you need to write it in italics and then explain also what you are writing. Say for example, we are saying, say Rabindranath Tagore's very famous poem, Ekla Chalo Re. So if you are writing something and you are writing Ekla Chalo Re, you write like this, Ekla Chalo Re, and then explain what does it mean. If you are writing something from say Hindi, आपने अंग्रेजी में आप लिख रहे हो ऐसे, and you have to quote something from Hindi literature, you can quote it. You can quote a Rahim's Doha in Hindi, but write it in English like this and then explain it. So that kind of a liberty is given by UPSC. It's not like no, you cannot do that. You can do that. But yes, as far as language is concerned, language should be, as far as possible, it should be simple. It should be easy to understand. It should not have dual meaning. It should not be like jargons, and sometimes we use fancy words like, say for example, if it is an IR essay, we are writing dehyphenation. Dehyphenation. If we are using this, then you write this dehyphenation and then explain it. Or supposedly social issue पे कुछ लिख रहे हैं and we are writing Sanskritization. We are writing Sanskritization. Then you explain what do you mean by Sanskritization. Or we are writing like fancy words like moral constitution, moral constitutionalism. So what is that moral constitutionalism? So you have to, explain it. So try to avoid the language that we are using in our WhatsApp or we are using on social media. Language should be simple, it should be decent, it should be easily understandable, it should be impressive, it should be positive. It should be positive. There should be positivity in your language. Positivity in the sense means your language should reflect that yes, it is something which is very nice. It's not. It should not throw some kind of a negativity. कहते हैं ना, अपनी भाषा ठीक से बोलो, अपनी लाइन तो ठीक से बोलो, मुंह खोलते ही आपसे नेगेटिविटी आती है. So what is this? So choice of words, that matters a lot. Say for example, if you are writing Viklang or you are writing handicap, so that is something is considered, it's not a wrong word, but somewhere we can use a better word which shows more positivity. Handicap bolne se, blind bolne se, some kind of a negativity is there. But when you are saying differently abled, because the person is able to do the work in a different manner, so the person is differently able, so it shows some kind of a dignity, it shows some kind of a positivity. So that is what I mean when we say that our language should show positivity. It should show dignity to everyone, respect to everyone. You are writing about women, you are writing about elderly, you are writing about third gender. There should be that dignity should be reflected through your language. So that is very, very important aspect of language. Now let us talk about content. And now when we are talking about content, we are talking about brainstorming, and here I would ask you to take a pen and paper and please do this. Now, how to generate the content? Most of the people, you might have heard that most of the toppers and other people, they suggest that essay के लिए you do not have to do something extra because आपका GS का preparation is helping you to write an essay. Of course, that is true because GS is giving you a wider perspective. In GS, we are not only studying your history or economics or just polity. We are studying internal security, we are studying disaster management, we are studying so many subjects in GS. So that widens your horizon. So that is very important कि जब आप GS essay paper की एक beauty ये भी है कि you do not have to prepare separately. आपकी GS की प्रिपरेशन के साथ आपका horizon is getting widened and you are getting prepared for essay which you do not know. The only thing is कि उन points को वहाँ से how to extract those points from there and use it in your essay. That is more important to understand. But preparation जो है knowingly, unknowingly, we are already doing the essay preparation while we are studying our GS or optional. कोई भी ऑप्शनल होता है आप उसको, इवन टेक्निकल ऑप्शनल्स, मैथ हैज़ अ वेरी बिग रोल इन सो मेनी सब्जेक्ट्स, ठीक है. तो अगर आप में वो असेसमेंट वाली स्किल्स है या आपका वाइडर होराइजन है या आपको पढ़ने की आदत है और आपने देखा होगा कि हाउ मैथ्स हैज़ अ लिंकेज विद सो मेनी अदर सिस्टम्स, हाउ मैथ हैज़ अ लिंकेज विद योगा. इफ़ यू गेट समथिंग अबाउट ऑल्टरनेट मेडिसिन, आप मैथ्स का कहीं पे योगा के साथ कॉम्बिनेशन दिखा सकते हो. वेरियस आसनास हैव अ रिलेशनशिप विद योगा. सो इफ़ यू हैव दैट वाइडर काइंड ऑफ अ थॉट प्रोसेस, वाइडर होराइजन, या आपने कभी कहीं सुना होगा किसी को बोलते हुए और आपको याद आ गया और आपने वो एग्जाम्पल दे दिया, तो दैट वुड बी समथिंग विच वुड बी यूनिक, विच वुड बी समथिंग विच इज लाइक पीपल से कि आपको अपना लिखना है, ओरिजिनल लिखना है, डिफरेंट लिखना है. सो दैट विल, सो वन थिंग इज हाउ टू गेट द कंटेंट, वन थिंग इज योर प्रिपरेशन फॉर योर GS is helping you to get the content. Then apart from that, most of us or many of us go through various magazines also. जैसे आप योजना देखते हो, कुरुक्षेत्र देखते हो, so many other magazines are there. तो योजना में there are टॉपिक बेस्ड है, तो वहाँ से यू कैन गेट द फैक्ट्स एंड डेटाज विच नो वन वुड क्वेश्चन बिकॉज सरकारी प्रिंट है वो, तो सरकारी डेटाज है. सो यू कैन गेट डेटाज फ्रॉम देयर, यू कैन लर्न अबाउट वेरियस इश्यूज, प्रॉब्लम्स, और सरकार उस पर क्या कर रही है, तो वहाँ से आपको कुछ कंटेंट मिलता है. एंड स्पेशली आपका योजना का जो एडिटर का जो शुरू में मैसेज होता है, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो वंडरफुल फॉर एसेज. देन व्हेन we are reading newspapers, तो उसमें जैसे इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, most of the students are reading इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, explained वाला कॉलम आता है, so that helps you to understand a issue in depth, उसके बारे में आपको क्लैरिटी हो जाती है. Then we have supplementary magazines with the newspapers where they are covering, where they are writing a cover story. आपका बिल्कुल आपका head to toe उस story के बारे में they are writing, so that is going to help you in your essay writings. And then apart from that, if you have time, at least go through the executive summary, और आपका जो इनिशियल इंट्रोडक्शन एंड कंक्लूजन ऑफ वेरियस गवर्नमेंट रिपोर्ट्स, विच वेरियस मीन्स गवर्नमेंट की रिपोर्ट्स तो बहुत सारी हैं, बट सम ऑफ द रिपोर्ट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल समथिंग रिटन बाय गवर्नमेंट ऑन लेबर रिफॉर्म, समथिंग रिटन बाय गवर्नमेंट ऑन से ब्लू इकोनॉमी, तो इस टाइप से जो रिपोर्ट्स हैं, पूरी रिपोर्ट्स प्लीज डोंट गो थ्रू द होल रिपोर्ट, दैट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, ओनली एग्जीक्यूटिव समरी और इंट्रोडक्शन एज वेल एज योर कंक्लूजन. और ARC की रिपोर्ट्स हैं, उसमें भी आप जो इंट्रोडक्शन देख लो और लास्ट में आप सजेशंस देख लो, बट डोंट गो थ्रू द होल रिपोर्ट्स बिकॉज इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. एंड देन आप अपने नेशनल लेवल पे रिपोर्ट्स हैं, आप उनको देखो. इसके नीति आयोग के देयर आर सर्टेन पेपर्स ऑन सर्टेन टॉपिक्स विच आर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. इफ़ यू हैव टाइम यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट. देन अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू कैन गो थ्रू सम ऑफ द बेसिक रिपोर्ट्स बाय वर्ल्ड बैंक है, आपका डेवलपमेंट रिपोर्ट इज़ देयर. देन आपकी जो है UN की कुछ रिपोर्ट्स हैं, यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट. And then you have happiness report and all these kind of reports. At least executive summary is going to help you. And then content के लिए what you can do is say, again I would say that there is no one book. बाकी GS के लिए लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ लो, इसके लिए आप जो है उमा कपिला पढ़ लो, इसके लिए जो है आप अपना हिस्ट्री के लिए है आप स्पेक्ट्रम पढ़ लो. There is no one book like this for essay. You are already preparing for essay, but the only thing is कि बैठ के सोचना है कि अब इसको हमने लिंक कैसे करना है. So there is no one book. You have to prepare from different books which you are already doing. And then इसके अलावा जो है if you want to write quotes वगैरह, many of the students they prefer writing quotes, तो आप उन quotes को prepare कर लो. certain quotes on your say education, empowerment, environment, ठीक है. तो इस टाइप के जितने कोट्स हैं आप उनको प्रिपेयर कर लो इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड. व्हाई आई एम सेइंग इफ, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट कंपल्सरी कि कोट वाले एसेज में यू आर गेटिंग मार्क्स, ठीक है. वी हैव सीन दैट पीपल हु आर नॉट राइटिंग एनी कोट बट गेटिंग वेरी गुड मार्क्स. द ओनली थिंग इज जो हमने बोला था एक गुड एसे में क्या होना चाहिए, कंटेंट, कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, एनालिसिस, हाउ यू हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड इट, आपकी लॉजिकल रीजनिंग. सो ये सारे जो हैं it all is your individual choice whether you want to go for quotes. Go ahead. If you could mug up some quotes, very good. If you cannot, equally good. Then quotes हो गए, some beautiful poems are there. Some of the poems of like Khalil Gibran, some people have philosophical bent of mind. अगर वो समझ पाते हैं उसको, खलील गिब्रान की पोएम से कुछ लाइंस ले लो, गीतांजलि से कुछ लाइंस ले सकते हो, रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर. देन वी हैव सो मेनी कन्नड़ा पोएट्स जिनकी बहुत अच्छी पोएम्स हैं. आप अगर इफ़ यू हैव दैट, और इफ़ गुरुबानी आपने पढ़ी उसमें से कुछ अच्छी लाइंस लग गई, यू कैन टेक दैट. It all is again depending on an individual. If you have that bent of mind, if you could do that, please कर सकते हो. नहीं करना है, please मत करो. There is no foundation. Then what else we can do? I am not saying some toppers have confessed that yes, they have drawn diagrams, and people have been doing it in essays also. Of late we have seen that many of the people are drawing diagrams, many of the people are making flow charts, mind maps in the essays. If you want, you can also do that. तो उसको भी आप prepare कर लो, वहाँ जाकर के सीधा चित्रकारी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You prepare it beforehand. So supposedly if it is a essay on like tourism के ऊपर essay आया था 3-4 साल पहले, so tourism potential of India, you can make the map of India, and then very neatly you can label the areas which have potential, which are well developed and all those kind of things. Then sometime back we had an essay on interstate water dispute in federal India, so you can just neatly make a diagram, and you can show where in which all states we have water disputes और कौन सी rivers हैं जिस पे dispute है. So that is again optional. I would not say please make diagrams in your essays. It is up to you, but the thing is your essay should not become a geography copy, it should not become an anthro copy. This has to be like a decent article that you read in the newspaper, a decent editorial you read in the newspaper where they are showing the maps. जैसे आजकल अभी पीछे कुछ टाइम से since March we have very good articles on India-China relationship. We have seen many of the good editorials, and some of them have been there with maps also. उन्होंने जो India-China का जहाँ main disputed points हैं अपने article में दिखाया, अपने editorial में दिखाया. तो that we can do. I am not saying a complete no to this, but I am at the same time, it's not that every page should carry one figure. No, this is not about that. This is not a essay paper. So you can do it, but decent लगना चाहिए, and it should look as if it is the requirement of your content rather than कि people say and we are just enforcing it on the content. No, it is not required. अगर आपका कोई international relations पे है, कोई border disputes के ऊपर है, कोई water resource के ऊपर है, कोई environment के ऊपर है, कोई आपका जो है tourism के ऊपर है, you can make it. Now people are very innovative, they are making very good flow charts also. तो एक decent एक या दो आप कर सकते हो, but please don't do too many of them. So ये सारे is your content का preparation, how to prepare for the content of the essay. This is the way we can prepare the content of the essay. Okay. Now content है, अब content को arrange करना is also a problem. Okay, we have this content, ठीक है, हमने सब कुछ पढ़ लिया. Every day we are reading Hindu, we are reading Indian Express, we are monthly we are reading Nyojna, we are reading so many other magazines. We have gone through World Development Report, Happiness Report, GS का सारा हमने paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, all standard books we have gone through, NCERTs we have gone through. सारा content हमको पता है, लेकिन essay में नंबर नहीं आ रहे. So why we are not getting marks in the essay when we know the whole content? There are people who are getting good marks in GS through this content, but essay में 80 नंबर है, 90 नंबर है, लिस्ट में पीछे है. और वही इम्प्रूवमेंट किया तो आज फर्स्ट 10 में भी दे आर द रैंकर्स. सो द थिंग इज ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग. कंटेंट है, कंटेंट पढ़ना कहाँ से, दिस इज कंटेंट, बट कंटेंट एग्जाम में कैसे सोचना है, दैट इज कॉल्ड योर ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग. यू नीड टू मैप योर कंटेंट. नाउ हाउ टू डू दैट? Okay, so first we'll talk about brainstorming. We'll talk about brainstorming. Then flow. Then arrangement or flow. Arranging in the, like intro कैसा होना चाहिए आपका, आपका body कैसी होनी चाहिए, how to develop that. कंक्लूजन कैसा होना चाहिए, ठीक है. वील डिस्कस दीज पॉइंट्स. ओके, बिफोर आई फॉरगेट, regarding content, when we were talking about content, so content में how to prepare for philosophical topics, that is a very common question. So philosophical topics के लिए I would say that again जो हमने prepare किया है that is sufficient. The only thing is we need to understand कि उनको deal कैसे करना, and that we will be doing in our test series. So anyways, but yes, in the meantime, some of the basic philosophies like our constitution, our preamble has certain basic philosophies. We need to know about that. Then we have our various religious books. Gita is there. There are certain basic philosophies of Gita. There are, from different religions, there are certain basic philosophies. Then certain basic philosophies of Gandhiji is there. Basic philosophies of Ambedkar is there. Then basic economics में कुछ basic philosophies है, जैसे capitalism is a philosophy. It's a politico-economic philosophy. So what is that philosophy? So try to, there are certain tribal philosophies. So जो भी आपकी जो philosophies हैं उनको थोड़ा समझो, because see why UPSC is asking us philosophical topics. UPSC is asking us philosophy. What is philosophy? Philosophy is about your idea about some of the basic things. उसके ऊपर जो abstract idea क्या है आपके. And whenever we take decisions, we are taking decisions based on our some philosophy. ठीक है, हमारी अपनी कुछ एक फिलॉसफी होती है उसकी रीजनिंग के ऊपर, द वे वी हैव बीन ब्रॉट अप, द वे वी हैव स्टडीड, जितना हमने लाइफ की हमारी जो भी लर्निंग्स हैं, टीचिंग्स हैं, बेस्ड ऑन दैट एवरी इंडिविजुअल इज टेकिंग सम काइंड ऑफ अ बेस्ड ऑन सम काइंड ऑफ अ फिलॉसफी, एवरी इंडिविजुअल इज टेकिंग अ डिसीजन. हर इंडिविजुअल का डिसीजन अलग होता है, नजरिया अलग होता है, उसकी लाइफ की फिलॉसफी अलग होती है. सो व्हाई दिस इज because the way we have been brought up, the way we have been taught, हमारी teachings, learning experiences जो है उसके ऊपर हमारी philosophy होती है. तो there are certain basic philosophies. उन philosophies को हम अक्सर ध्यान में रख के decision लेते हैं. As an administrator, कल को आपको there are certain philosophies of socialism, philosophies of your philosophies of your preamble, philosophies of your Vivekanand, philosophies of Gandhiji, that there is enough for everybody's need but not for everybody's greed. So in सब चीज़ों को how do you comprehend as a would-be administrator? How you are going to base your decision on which philosophy? So these things are somewhere tested through your philosophical topics. ठीक है, एक philosophy जो है, when we say this philosophy is widely respected, Vasudev Kutumbakam, the philosophy is widely respected, the philosophy of Antodaya, Sarvodaya, these philosophies, how you are going to inculcate. So these things, so you should, for philosophical topics, at least some of the basic philosophies of Gita, Bible, Quran, go through that. Basic philosophies of thinkers, Gandhiji, Ambedkar, Vivekanand, you go through that. Basic philosophies, economic की जो basic philosophies है, because they have asked you question like can capitalism bring inclusive growth? Then there has been a question आपकी political philosophy about your cooperative federalism, that's also philosophy. Democracy में आपका federalism होना चाहिए, कैसे होना चाहिए, cooperative है, आपका constructive है, किस तरह से, तो cooperative federalism, myth और reality. So some of the basic philosophies, because philosophy के नाम पे हमारे दिमाग में सिर्फ abstract topic आते हैं, but yes, and we cannot predict कि कौन सा abstract topic they would be saying, but yes, some of the basic philosophies we can prepare, we can understand वो philosophy का reasoning क्या है, क्या था उस time पे, क्या applications है, and क्या application था, and in today's time are these philosophies relevant or not, do we have certain examples to justify it or no. So like Vasudev Kutumbakam, it's a very, very old philosophy, but it has more relevance now. Because now we are living in a fragmented world. We are moving towards protectionism. So that is why we are talking about coming together, cooperation, coordination. Yeah. So that is what, like basic philosophies, जो भी आपकी basic philosophies हैं, चाहे वो religious हो, चाहे वो आपकी tribal philosophies हो, because tribal philosophies could be related to your ecology and environment. Yes, yes. So basic philosophies को we can prepare. And then brainstorming. When we say that brainstorming, how to do that? Brainstorming is very, very important, not only for essay, but it is also for your GS, the way they are asking you questions जो हैं आपके, some of the questions, especially in your internal security, some of the questions in your other papers also, ethics के paper में भी, if you have that brainstorming thing, you know how to link the things, you are definitely going to get some better marks than others. So how to do the brainstorming, that is very, very important. And let us do a brainstorming. Now you take out your pen and paper and you also write. If I say something, let us brainstorm on something. Okay, let's brainstorm on language. This is a word, you brainstorm on this, language. Whatever is coming to your mind, you write about it. I'll give you 1 minute. In the meantime, I'll take water and then we'll talk about it. So there is a one word called language. What all comes to your mind when we think of language? So many things come to our mind when we think of a term or a word. How to develop this habit of brainstorming? Because I said we all are preparing for essay. हम सब essay के लिए prepare कर रहे होते हैं while preparing for our optional, while preparing for our GS or ethics. But the thing is, उसको brainstorm. How to charge your mind on that particular topic, that is important. So let us brainstorm on a word called language. What all comes to your mind? Many of us or many of the people would say language ka we can link with history. You know, we can link with history. Language पहले ऐसे होती थी, फिर ऐसे develop हुई, फिर मतलब it could be linked with history. Different aspects, different dimensions that people talk about कि different dimension होने चाहिए ऐसे में. Most of the people say that different dimension होने चाहिए, different dimension लिख दो, social, economic, political, cultural, आपका ऐसे में number आ जाता है. So वो जो different dimensions की बात करते हैं, तो language है, तो language का history में जा सकते हैं. How language started developing, ठीक है? History of the language we can go, we can take examples from history. Then if we go by our syllabus, GS का syllabus से ही अगर हम मेंस के जाएंगे तो we get the dimensions, okay? History वाला dimension है. Then geography can be linked. Different geographies. यूरोप की लैंग्वेज कुछ और है, आपकी द्रविडियन लैंग्वेज कुछ और है, स्क्रिप्ट आपकी अलग है. आप नॉर्थ में आ जाओ, देयर इज अ डिफरेंट स्क्रिप्ट. यू गो टू चाइना एंड दैट रीजन मैंडरिन आपकी अलग लैंग्वेज है. तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन ज्योग्राफी लैंग्वेजेस हैव इवॉल्व्ड ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. लैंग्वेज कुड बी लिंक्ड विद ज्योग्राफी. देन पेपर 1 में व्हाट वी हैव सोशल. सोशल के साथ ही लेट अस मिक्स योर कल्चर ऑल्सो. So language could be related to your societies, different societies, the way you speak. you say that you belong to this strata of the society. Some people speak very sophisticated language. Some people who are educated, they speak very good language. Some people who are educated but they do not have values in their education, they speak very wrong language. ठीक है, तो आपकी कहते हैं ना, आपकी भाषा, आपके बोलने के तरीके से पता चलता है आप कहाँ को बिलोंग करते हैं. You belong to which kind of a family, और आपका family background कैसा रहा है. So language shows your social identity. Then we have culture. There are cultures, like there are certain cultures, Bengali languages, Bengali culture है आपका, वहाँ पे आप देखोगे language जो है कब से evolve हो रही है. We have so many poets, we have so many writers from the very beginning. कई सारी कम्युनिटीज हैं जो अपने लैंग्वेज के ऊपर कितना काम कर रही हैं. एंड देयर आर कल्चर के साथ जोड़ दो तो ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस हैं, कुछ तो हैं अभी तक चल रही, सम ऑफ देम हैव बिकम एक्सटिंक्ट. सो माय पॉइंट इज लाइक हाउ वी कैन रिलेट इट. देन व्हेन यू कम टू पॉलिटी, पेपर 2, IR इज देयर, गवर्नेंस इज देयर. ठीक है, लैंग्वेज कैन बी रिलेटेड टू दैट. पॉलिटी, we have constitutional language, आपके जो कोर्ट की लैंग्वेज होती है, we have a very formal language, we have a very parliamentary language. Political, आप जो है politicians, they use language to entice the people. International relations, language plays a very very important role in diplomacy. Each and every word spoken by an ambassador or the representative of a country plays a major role. जो आपकी agreement sign होते हैं, each and every word and language plays a very important role in international relations. ठीक है, like whether India and US, we are friends or we are allies. So more or less the meaning is similar, but the thing is when we say ally, it is a very different connotation. So language has a very important role in IR. Governance में language is very important because when we read governance, we say that हमारे साथ citizen charter में, say for example citizen charter में one problem is that they are not there in vernacular. ठीक है, हमारा डिजिटल इंडिया प्रोग्राम इज देयर बट मेनी ऑफ द ordinary people are not able to get it because it's not in vernacular. So language has a very important role here. Even in economics, you might have come across a new stream, not a very new stream, but yes, a stream where it says that economics of language. Economics of language, how to use your language to increase your productivity. आप देखोगे सॉफ्ट स्किल्स सिखाती हैं कंपनियां ताकि आपका जो है मार्केटिंग वालों को सॉफ्ट स्किल्स सिखाती हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज लैंग्वेज प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन इकोनॉमिक्स. नाउ वर्ल्ड इज लर्निंग मैंडरिन, वर्ल्ड इज लर्निंग चाइनीज, बिकॉज हमारा मैक्सिमम वहां से आपका बिजनेस हो रहा है. देयर हैव बीन स्टडीज बाय योर वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम एंड ऑल. they have shown that in their studies the countries which are speaking different languages, they are doing more business. So economics of language is there. Similarly language का आपका टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ you can link language का जो है टेक्नोलॉजी with right now we are doing coding, we are trying to interlink your computing languages with various languages. Somewhere we are trying to link it and we are trying to bring programs on the computer in the local languages. So how my purpose is ethics, paper 4 में आ जाओ. ethics, language जो है आज के टाइम पे this value, the values, ethics is coming down. Our language is getting deteriorated. We are becoming more harsh. Like see the recent debate between your Biden and Mr. Trump. It was highly criticized because they have come to a very new low through their language. See the language used by your parliamentarians many times. We have seen how bad language are being used by some of the politicians. We have seen that how social media is leading towards a deterioration of language. So ethics can be linked to language. So one of the ways is to think. कोई भी टॉपिक ले लो, कोई भी वर्ड ले लो to start with. You take a word and try to link it with different aspects. So you will get the different dimensions to that. कि एक language word का हम history से लेके we can link it with ethics. So this is one point. But now try to understand what I am saying. Brainstorming में जो है, when we say that ऐसे में आपका knowledge test होता है, knowledge में आपका different dimensions, आपका horizontal, vertical, different dimensions, temporal, plus depth, गहराई, आपकी बातों में गहराई कितनी है. तो one thing is आपने different dimensions आपने सोच लिए, आपने इनको link करके you have written an essay. So you are going to get marks. Sometimes you get very good marks, sometimes you get average marks. Now अब ये एक और चीज है, ये जो different dimensions हैं, इनिशियली आई सेड दैट मिथ है कि खाली डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस लिख करके आ जाओ और नंबर आ जाते हैं. एंड मेनी टाइम्स पीपल कम बैक टू मी, मैम डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस लिख के लेकिन नंबर नहीं आए. तो क्यों नहीं नंबर आए? कहाँ पे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग को और डेप्थ में लेके जाने की जरूरत थी? नाउ वी विल सी दैट. Should I rub this? I'll write it here so that I don't forget what we need to. Habit of the class to rub it with the hand. Unfortunately, this is a digital board, so flow and arrange. Arranging into introduction, body and conclusion. Now, this is very, very important aspect that we are going to discuss right now. One thing is dimensions. Dimensions तो हमारे पास आ जाती है. If we start linking it with your syllabus, आप अपने syllabus के हिसाब से चलो, आपको सारे dimensions मिल जाएंगे. You go horizontally, vertically, temporally means time में, okay. Language जो है आपका प्री हिस्टोरिक टाइम्स में कैसे था, फिर कैसे हुआ, फिर रिसेंट हिस्ट्री में कैसे हुआ, यू कैन थिंक एंशिएंट टाइम्स में कैसे हुआ, मेडिवल टाइम में लैंग्वेज पे क्या काम हुआ. सो यू कैन गो फॉर टेम्पोरल. आप अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट से यू कैन गेट दिस पॉइंट्स. बट टू स्कोर वेरी गुड मार्क्स इन एसे, what we need to do is beyond these points, beyond these dimensions, we need to go much deeper into the issue. Say for example, ये तो हमारे पास points आ गए, ये हिस्ट्री का पॉइंट है, ज्योग्राफी हमने लिंक कर लिया. नाउ लैंग्वेज के और अंदर अगर सिर्फ हमें सोचना ही है तो वी कुड थिंक हाउ लैंग्वेज हैज इवॉल्व्ड. व्हाई इज लैंग्वेज नेसेसरी? Why is language necessary? We can think this. We can think that how it evolved. How it evolved. What issues it faces, what issues it faced in evolution. How technology has impacted language or communication. Are we or is our communication actually getting evolved over the period of time? See, we can raise questions. Language, what we can do is the points that we have got, history से, geography से, social से, polity से, IR से, economics से, ethics से, now we can use these points, we can use these points to substantiate these deeper aspects of language. So that is like this brainstorming is helping us to get more deeper into the topic, है ना. अब जैसे say for example, when you have gone to a foreign country, you have clicked different photographs. ठीक है, आपने अलग अलग फोटोग्राफ ली. एक फोटोग्राफ से आप उस कंट्री के बारे में नहीं जानते हो, आप अलग अलग फोटोग्राफ को इकट्ठा करके देखते हो, then it gives you a wider picture of that country. or you can take another example, say for example through your telescope, say Hubble telescope है, ठीक है, you are getting different pictures of the planets and space के आपके अलग अलग dimensions के you are getting the picture through the telescope. But when you arrange those pictures in a very nice manner, in a very orderly manner, you get a wider picture of the space. Similarly, these are just the various pictures or the various dimensions. अब आपको एक wider angle, wider dimension, एक holistic dimension लेने के लिए इन सबको आपको जोड़ना होगा. तो इनको जोड़ने का तरीका क्या है? जब आप deeper questions पूछोगे, और इन deeper questions में you need to fit these aspects जो हमने ये आपके अलग अलग एंगल से जो ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग की है, इकोनॉमिक्स, एथिक्स, अब इनको हम यहाँ पे यूज कर सकते हैं टू सब्सटैंशिएट, जो कि आपने सुना होगा, मेनी ऑफ द पीपल से दैट यू नीड टू हैव अ थीसिस काइंड ऑफ अ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ योर एसे. थीसिस जो है आपके, अपने थीसिस को प्रूव करने के लिए यू कैन यूज दीज मल्टीपल डायमेंशंस टू सब्सटैंशिएट योर पॉइंट, सो दैट विल further enrich your essay and you will get better marks. Say for example, why is language necessary? तो आप history of language में चले जाओ, ठीक है, हिस्ट्री से एग्जाम्पल लो कि जब लैंग्वेज, व्हेन देयर वाज नो लैंग्वेज, हाउ पीपल वर कम्युनिकेटिंग, हाउ द फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज दैट वी स्टार्टेड. अगर आप हिस्ट्री, इफ यू हैव सम नॉलेज अबाउट इट, द फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज द पीपल हैव यूज्ड इज फॉर योर कीपिंग रिकॉर्ड्स. मैथ्स जो थी आपकी, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज. ये जो आपकी स्क्रिप्ट है ये तो बाद में आई. तो फर्स्ट जो हम सिंबल की तरह यूज करते थे, सिंबल्स फॉर नंबर्स, सो दैट वाज योर फर्स्ट language. So how it has evolved, how in various geographies languages have evolved. तो आप ये geography का example इधर fit कर सकते हो. What issues it faces in evolution, कैसे कैसे different societies, different culture, tribal societies, how it has faced issues in evolution. History से example ले सकते हैं कि how language has faced challenges, how when there have been like we have Mughals in India, तो एक पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज जो है वो फिनिश हो गई, ब्रिटिशर्स आ गए तो हमारी पर्टिकुलर हिंदी धीरे धीरे डाउन होने लगी, इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज कैसे ऊपर होने लग गई. तो व्हाट इश्यूज इट हैज फेस, सो यू कैन टेक एग्जांपल फ्रॉम हिस्ट्री, यू कैन टेक एग्जांपल फॉर सोशल कल्चर, हाउ टेक्नोलॉजी हैज इम्पैक्टेड लैंग्वेज एंड कम्युनिकेशन, सो वी कैन रिलेट दीज एस्पेक्ट्स विद योर technology aspect. Is our communication actually getting evolved over the period of time? तो हमने ये जो ethics का dimension लिया था कि how we have seen that कि language जो है आज के time पे deteriorate होते जा रही है, तो we can use those ethic वाला dimension here. So my point is कि first thing is only social, cultural, economic, these things generally give you marks but not very good marks. You need to have a wider perception on the topic. ठीक है, तो पहले आप एक brainstorming जैसे आपने अलग अलग एंगल किया, बट उन अलग अलग एंगल को you try to use as examples, you try to substantiate the deeper aspects of the essay, and deeper aspects of the essay could be brainstormed with asking questions. जैसे language है, why it is important, how it started, why it is what is happening to the language now, what is technology doing to the language, how certain tribal languages have not evolved, why certain languages have evolved. So when you start asking questions on that particular topic, तो आपका जो है ये brainstorming हो जाता है. So you start with one topic or you start with one word and then topic, वैसे आप issues उठाओ, तो that will help you to practice brainstorming. जैसे we have taken an example of language, then you take up the issues like empowerment, you take up the issues like poverty, you take up the issue of sustainable development. ठीक है, तो एक एक टॉपिक को लो और उनके ऊपर brainstorm करो, and then you take the full sentence of the question and then you brainstorm on it. जैसे अभी हमने ये बात की, ठीक है. So we have taken the example of language, then we said like, okay, let us take concepts like poverty, your empowerment, sustainable development. Now let us take one example from previous year question paper and let us see how we can do the brainstorming. Let us take the last year's question paper from last year question paper. Wisdom finds truth. Now wisdom finds truth. So first we should be clear about what is wisdom, what is truth, है ना? So wisdom, how it is different from knowledge, how it is different from education, how it is different from information. So first we need to understand the keywords, what is wisdom and what is truth. And now when we think on this topic, again history, can we take example from history, like how wisdom has helped to find truth? We can take the example of Gautam Buddha, we can take the example of Ashoka, how he has denounced all forms of non-violence, okay? How Buddha has attained enlightenment. So that is how wisdom has helped them to find truth. Similarly, when you talk about geography, how geography, we can take examples from different geography, like geographies like, say for example, India mein we have Gandhi ji. His wisdom has helped to attain independence. Similarly, Nelson Mandela, South Africa, okay? Then social societies, how societies have used your wisdom to find the truth. Say for example, societies in or the social or cultural societies in South India, they are doing much better than in education than other rest of the states. Say for example, everybody knows, everybody has the information that yes, when we empower our women, when we educate our masses, when we educate our women, we are going to go for development. Everyone has this information, but it was the wise decision of the government in Kerala about the various policies, how they have promoted women literacy, and see the level of development there. So this is what is your how wisdom finds truth. Similarly, we can relate it with polity. ठीक है, जो political examples we can take कि how during the time of your Cold War, earlier our decisions were different, but yes, when we realize कि now it is, we need to have some kind of a relationship with USSR, then we have quickly taken the decision, and then we have won the 1971, and we have been able to break away Pakistan and help in the formation of Bangladesh. When now we are saying that we are going for multi-alignment. So that is what is your wisdom. How wisdom is helping you to find your truth. Similarly, in judiciary, it is like different informations are there, but yes, judiciary uses its wisdom to find the truth. Truth is what is real, what is true. So your wisdom, judge कैसे उसको use कर सकता है, तो we can use it polity, we can use it with IR. How technology जो है आज के टाइम पे, how it is helping us, whether it is helping us or not. हर तरह के examples like we can relate. Now go for a deeper thought process कि why wisdom only helps in finding truth. Why wisdom? Why wisdom? Something is happening with the pen. Why wisdom? Why not information only? Why truth is important? Why truth is important? Why, if no wisdom, only information, truth होगा कि नहीं होगा? We have a very good example, social media. We have lot of information, but we are not using it wisely. Then what is happening? We are seeing mob lynching, we are seeing your fake news, we are seeing so many social media के चलते truth सामने नहीं आ रहा है, ठीक है? Then if we only have information but no wisdom, what is the truth? Say for example, every country in the world has the information that yes, global warming is happening, but if we are not taking wise actions, what is happening? Carbon आपका जो है, what is happening? There is lot of your carbon dioxide, carbon footprint आपका negative है, but yes, everyone has the information, but some of the countries like Bhutan, they have the wisdom to take decisions. They said no BBIN corridor, we don't want that development. They understand the truth is, what is the basic ultimate truth? Ultimate truth is human development, human survival. So they know the fact, they have the information ki yes, climate change is happening and human anthropogenic factors are helping it to human factors are fastening them, and then they have the wisdom, they have made their policies like this. So आज उनका जो है, you see their carbon footprint. So the thing is, like, we have different culture, social, geography, polity, we have different examples, and un social, cultural, political, economic and all those aspects could be used here for understanding the deeper questions that will give the depth to your essay. आपके essay में एक holistic picture नजर आनी चाहिए rather than social, political, cultural, economic. That is not going to fetch you very high marks. You see, essay is like a film. It's like a 3-hour film where you have to show a holistic picture, and holistic picture means you have to link the various thoughts, वेरियस डॉट्स केयरफुली, वेरियस आपके जो एंगल्स हैं उनको लिंक करना है. सिर्फ अलग अलग आप एंगल्स दिखा देने से आपको बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं आते हैं. सो गो फॉर अ होलिस्टिक पिक्चर, एंड दिस सोशल, पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक इज गोइंग टू सब्सटैंशिएट योर पॉइंट्स rather than that is the only thing to do in the essay. You need to go deeper into the essays. ठीक है, तो that can be another example, this can be another example. Then let us take some other question. Let us see some previous year question paper. Then okay, anyways, now there is some technical fault here. Okay. Anyways, let us I still remember some of the questions. Some of the questions are like slow but steady wins the we have heard that slow but steady wins the race. ठीक है, but the question was fast but steady wins the race. That was a question. Can capitalism bring inclusive growth? That has been the question. Pen is mightier than a sword. Then cooperative federalism, myth or reality? New women, myth or reality? So these kind of questions are being asked. So let us take another question. Say for example, can capitalism bring inclusive growth? This is your opinion based question. I would say that don't go for a very stark opinion, rather go for a balanced one, because everything has its own pros and cons. You have to show both the sides and come with a balanced opinion. That is advisable, but it is up to you. You can go for the extreme opinions also. It is up to you. Anyways, can capitalism bring inclusive growth? So we can think of history. History में आप सोच सकते हो कि क्या capitalism ने कहीं पे inclusive growth लेकर के आया. First we need to understand what is capitalism, what is inclusive growth. Then think of history, think of geography, किन countries में ये लेकर के आया, कहाँ पे लेकर के नहीं आया, how capitalism has evolved. Then you can take example from societies, how there are like capitalism is bringing a big divide among the societies between haves and have-nots. Oxfam report hai, which is showing ki yes, there is a big divide because of capitalism. Even in India, we know that only 1% of the population, 1% of the rich people are controlling 90% of the resources. So आप सोशल एग्जाम्पल ले लो, पॉलिटी का एग्जाम्पल ले लो कि हाउ कैपिटलिज्म का जो है आपका पॉलिटिकल philosophy है and how it has done good or bad. Then we can take example from history, geography, societies. We can take example from how further your आज के टाइम पे ऐसे पैंडेमिक है तो पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे how capitalism and technology is further dividing or it is bringing inclusive growth. ठीक है, so different ways of thinking. You can think सबको आप एक बार पेपर 1 से पेपर 4 तक लेके जाओ. एथिक्स के साथ कैपिटलिज्म, क्या कैपिटलिज्म एज अ कॉन्सेप्ट हैज अ प्रॉब्लम और इट इज द एथिक्स, इट इज द पीपल who have the problem in their ethical values because of which we are blaming capitalism. Capitalism as a concept has no problem. So आप इसको हर पेपर के साथ, हर एस्पेक्ट के साथ you try to link it and then ask the deeper questions. What is capitalism? Why capitalism? Or where capitalism and how it has brought inclusive growth. Do we have examples? तो आप example ले लो history से. You can take the example industrial revolution, how in England it has brought so many people out of the poverty, how your Asian tigers there and how LPG in India has brought so many people out of poverty. So what is capitalism? Then how it has brought inclusive growth. Do we have examples history से, economics से, कहीं से you can take. Why capitalism is being criticized. Then आप अलग अलग society में capitalism का impact positive negative you can take examples from that. Then ethics से कि why capitalism per se is a problem or humans it's a problem or there are certain lacunas in our policies which is favoring crony capitalism. तो इस टाइप से डीपर क्वेश्चन पूछो और वो सोशल पॉलिटिकल डिफरेंट एंगल्स को यहाँ पे you try to substantiate those things. So that will enrich your essay. Your essay will become more thought provoking, more fulfilling, more holistic. So think like this. You have to do the brainstorming and brainstorming does not come with one day practice. You have to practice a lot. Thoda sa you do the practice and it is really going to help you. So brainstorming karo. Then now brainstorming kar liya, we have the points. Now how to arrange the content, that is also a problem. Content may arrange, how to arrange. Content we have generated through brainstorming, content is there. Now how to arrange the content? Generally we arrange the content into introduction, body, and then we have conclusion. And in तीनों के बीच में we need to have flow. How to generate that flow? That is also very important. So content brainstorming karo, do the practice and content development would be done. Now how to do the introduction? In the initial discussions only I have told you that yes, जो impression points होते हैं, that is your introduction, that is your body and that is your conclusion. So introduction, how should be the introduction? So there is no one way of doing it, as I have always said, and again I am repeating the same thing. There is no one way of writing introduction, there is no one way of writing conclusion, there is no one way of writing the full essay. There are n number of different ways. We are just talking about one of the simplest ways which we can do, and you all have the liberty, you all are free to further enhance over it, you can further enrich your content, but yes, some basic so that everyone can write an essay. So introduction is like a guide map. इंट्रोडक्शन को देख के ही लगता है कि आपका essay का जो है where it is going, the way you introduce, it is something which is showing, it's like a map, guide map. It is something like a preface of the book or the opening of the book, or it is like a hook जो आपको पहले ही 4 लाइन बाइंड कर लेती हैं आपके रीडर को कि yes, this is going to be very interesting. Introduction is something which is showing that what we could expect from the essay if you are writing something. Introduction is kind of a premiere of the movie. It is like the premiere, it is like the preface of a book. So introduction, how we can write, there are different ways of writing introduction. The simplest way is what you are going to show in the essay, you can briefly summarize that. Or if you want it to be very impactful, you can write it with, say for example, some anecdote. You can start with the story, short story. You can start with the quote, or you can start with some kind of a poem. It is up to you. Anecdote से कर सकते हो, quote से कर सकते हो, story से कर सकते हो. Simply what is your essay going to talk about, you can write. So there is again no one way, but yes, introduction should be effective, it should be impressive. Simple plus impressive. अगर आपके पास बहुत अच्छा जार्गन नहीं है, आपको बहुत पोएम नहीं आती, you do not recall a particular quote on that topic, or you are not skilled enough to write a anecdote or relate it with some story, or you are not good at making story. So simple हो लेकिन effective हो. अगर आपको capitalism say, जैसे अभी we have taken example, can capitalism bring inclusive growth? Simply you can quote Oxfam का जो आपका data है, latest Oxfam data, you can talk about how the world is moving towards capitalism, but on vis-a-vis how the world is also moving towards, many of the people are dying of hunger. UN की आपकी report है कि again it's a shame on us that yes, the people are dying of hunger also in this world where we are going for capitalism, where we are going for more development, but still every year for the past 3-4 years we have seen that the number of people dying of hunger is also increasing. So it's a simple thing, simple fact. And as far as fact is concerned, only one-liner facts. Don't mug up the facts, because आप कितने facts रटोगे? It's not like a statistic paper, economics paper where आपको बहुत सारे facts लिखने हैं. Fact is something which is truth, which is very simple. One-liner can be a fact. Say for example, 2-3 days back only in the newspapers, you might have also read about like 150 million, according to World Bank report, because of the pandemic, 150 million people are going to be under the poverty line, or they are going to starve. So what is this? So 150 million people because of pandemic, it's a fact. And when we talk about facts, we also need to go for the primary sources of the facts. Don't go for newspapers. Newspapers are the secondary sources of the fact. So if there is a fact which is given by Government of India or World Bank or UN, that is good. But yes, don't go for idhar udhar ka social media fact or something. No, please don't go for that. And then fact का भी जो है आपका, fact should also be something which could be easily retained. Otherwise, don't waste your energy into that. ठीक है, you can begin with the quote, and when it is like quote, you can begin your essay with the quote, or you can write the quotes in between. So now that we are talking about quotes, let me clarify that sometimes it happens that we know the quote, but we don't know who has said this. So you can write that quote without inverted commas. Simply you can write the quote and who has said. क्योंकि आपको exact wording नहीं पता है quote की, तो don't write it in the inverted commas. If you know the exact wordings and who has said, you can put it in the inverted commas and you can write the quote. Sometimes we know the essence of the quote, but we don't know who has said it. So you can simply say that one great philosopher, one great thinker, or a great person has wisely said that. Write the quote, essence of the quote. So किसी भी तरीके से आप लिख सकते हैं. So it's not necessary that you have to mug up exactly what the person has said. नाम याद नहीं है, किसने कहा है वो quote, you can write the quote. Quote की wordings याद नहीं है, inverted commas हटा दो. Quote की ना wordings, proper wordings याद है, ना किसने कहा है, so someone has rightly said that, just write the essence of the quote. ठीक है? So we can start with this, we can start with the story, anecdote, real life examples. I would say that when you're reading newspapers, there are articles. Think that every day you are reading one essay. That will help you to see how to write. ठीक है, slowly you will start liking it as an essay rather than just as an editorial. तो आप उसको देखो, that will help you in improving your writing skills. Then body. Now, the body of the essay is also very important, and body means content that we have talked about. We had talked about various aspects, ki why wisdom is important, why not wisdom is happening, how we can improve wisdom, why wisdom finds truth, why not your information finds truth. So these kind of different aspects are there. So how to put it in the body. So when we talk about body, so different aspects, different angles has to be there. And then जो आप बॉडी में अरेंज कर रहे हो, प्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हो, पैराग्राफ कैसे करना है, फ्लो की बात अभी हम करेंगे, बट पहले जो है पैराग्राफ. व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग योर कंटेंट इन द बॉडी, यू हैव टू राइट इट इन पैराग्राफ्स. ठीक है, सो राइट इट इन पैराग्राफ्स. पैराग्राफ शुड बी नीटली नाइसली रिटन. वन पेज जो है आपका, एक पेज है आपका, तो एक पेज में डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर फॉन्ट साइज, whether you are able to write 2 paragraphs, whether you are able to write 3 paragraphs, it depends on your font size. If your font size is medium or big enough, write 2 paragraphs. Then if it is very small, you can write 3 paragraphs. But yes, try to have a kind of a symmetry between your paragraphs. It should not be like one paragraph is 2 pages and another paragraph is just 4 or 5 lines. No, try to bring a kind of a symmetry. Of course, we cannot just count the number of lines in the paragraphs every time, but yes, there should be some kind of a symmetry in the paragraphs. And when we were talking about introduction should also be like, it should not be more than 1 page. Otherwise ऐसा नहीं कि 3 पेज तक आपकी इंट्रोडक्शन ही चल रही है. When you are writing introduction should be like आपका एक पूरा पेज जो है maximum is 1 page. Supposedly this is 1 page and you have written introduction. यहाँ से यहाँ तक लिख लो, या बहुत ही ज़्यादा हो गया यहाँ से यहाँ तक लिख लो, and leave some line, or you can begin another line from here and then continue there, so that introduction आपका introduction लगना चाहिए rather than कि वो अपने आप में एक पूरा का पूरा आपका body बन जाए. ठीक है. And when you are writing introduction, I have seen some people they would write introduction. See, don't write this. This looks very childish. When we are writing introduction, when we are beginning, it means it is introduction. You do not need to write introduction in the beginning. It looks very childish. Presentation matters a lot. ठीक है, तो introduction मत लिखो, सीधा जो है आपका, if you want, you can write the topic which is given here and you can write the introduction here. And it should not be 2 page, 3 page. It should be simply आपका एक पेज में आपका introduction हो जाना चाहिए. Because 2 पेज में, 3 पेज में जाता है, तो then it is not introduction. It is directly you are writing the essay rather than आपका एक introduction type का कुछ उसमें कुछ है, वो दिखता नहीं है, वो लगता है कि पूरा essay की आप body लिख रहे हो. Now when we say body में you are writing different paragraphs in the body, but how to generate flow? Now flow is a problem for many. Now when we are saying that flow, how to bring the flow? Think that you are writing an essay, you have written a thesis, and the reader is going to ask you a question. And through your essay, try to give the logical sequencing of the questions. जैसे आप predict कर लो, अगर मैंने लिखा है कि capitalism brings inclusive growth, or can capitalism bring inclusive growth? So what is capitalism? Why capitalism is important? How it has brought inclusive growth? How it has not brought inclusive growth? Ultimately, how capitalism as a concept is good, but its implementation is in the hands of people and their ethics are not good. So अगर आप किसी को अल्टीमेटली कहोगे कि कैपिटलिज्म कैन ब्रिंग इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ और कैपिटलिज्म कैन नॉट, देयर इज अ मिड वे, आप मिड की बात कर रहे हो कि यस अप टू सम एक्सटेंट इट इज ब्रिंगिंग इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ, बट अप टू सम एक्सटेंट इट इज नॉट. दैट इज योर फाइनल कंक्लूजन, दैट इज योर फाइनल थीसिस ऑफ द एसे. सो जो अगला इंसान आपके एसे को पढ़ रहा होगा, द रीडर हु इज रीडिंग इट, और या जो आपका लिसनर होगा, उसके दिमाग में क्वेश्चन ये होगा कैसे इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ कहाँ तक ला रहा है, कहाँ तक नहीं ला रहा है, वाई यू आर सेइंग दिस, वाई यू आर नॉट सेइंग. सो यू विल स्टार्ट गिविंग हिम और हर द लॉजिकल आंसर्स आप सीक्वेंस में कि देखो अप टू दिस एक्सटेंट इट हैज ब्रॉट, वी हैव एग्जांपल्स हिस्ट्री में, देखो ऐसे ऐसे हुआ. कैपिटलिज्म देखो, कैपिटलिज्म ने इट हैज हेल्प द पीपल टू कम आउट ऑफ पॉवर्टी, सो मेनी पीपल टू कम आउट ऑफ पॉवर्टी. बट यस, यहाँ तक तो ठीक है, बट व्हेन यू सी कि हाउ पॉलिसीज आर नाउ, कैपिटलिस्ट आर नाउ रनिंग द गवर्नमेंट्स, how they are helping the politicians to win the elections, and in that they are getting favor for crony capitalism. तो यहाँ पे जो है कैपिटलिज्म का जो है प्रॉपर जो है फ्रूट सबको नहीं मिल पा रहा है. तो यहाँ पे बिकॉज ऑफ दिस crony capitalism people are not getting. So what kind of capitalism do we need now? So हमें इस टाइप की कैपिटलिज्म लानी है. तो इस टाइप के जो है हमें चेंजेस लाना है so that it can bring inclusive growth. तो when you are writing an essay, think that जो the person who is reading your essay, he is getting answers to the various questions one by one. So that will bring a flow to your essay. What, why, how, when आप ये करोगे तो with practice you are going to bring that. Or there is another way is one, this is, I think this is more logical way, जो easily, maybe I find it more easy to bring flow into my essays, but anyways you have other ways also, you can utilize any ways. Then apart from this, sometime you have linking sentences you use. Say for example let us यही example ले लो so that it becomes easy to understand. You can capitalism bring inclusive growth? So we have seen it in the history. It's not only in the history, but we have seen it in other countries or various geographies. और अदर उसी तरह कि कैन कैपिटलिज्म, वेरियस सोसाइटीज वेयर पीपल हैव, इट्स नॉट ओनली इन हिस्ट्री or different countries or in geography, but yes, it's not only dependent on geography, but it also depends on the societies. Within same geographies we have seen that people where societies are well educated, we have seen where the societies are well educated, where people are well aware, and where there is no corruption or little corruption, capitalism has brought wonderful results. Say for example Scandinavian countries you can give, where people are more aware, where there is less corruption, where there is more democracy, capitalism has brought inclusive growth. Then इसी तरह से आप different aspects को लोगे कि it's not only this but also this. Or say for example say for example your cooperative federalism myth or reality. So cooperative federalism, it's not only this, but if we see the social angle, it is this. It's not only this, but if we see however it has brought it's a myth till this, but yes, on the other side we see reality. So linking word जो है, furthermore, however, it's not only this, as far as this is concerned, this is there. As far as like poverty everywhere is a threat to prosperity anywhere. ठीक है, poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. ठीक है, so we can say that poverty, it's not only your economic poverty, but when we see the social poverty के aspects आप लिख दो कि how it is a hindrance to the prosperity in social development. Then we can further move कि social से आप दिखाना चाह रहे हो कि political आ रहे हो कि it's not only the societies, but yes, within societies also where people do not have voices. If we take a society of a particular area, we see that in those areas also the most vulnerable people where they do not have their political voices, we have seen that there is a lack of development, there is lack of prosperity. So you are using the keywords, or you are not only this but also this, furthermore, these kind of linkage words could be used. And then अगर ये भी नहीं हो रहा है, what, why, how भी काम नहीं कर रहा है, तो we can use the subheadings. Okay, social angle, history. Let's talk about history, historical aspect. We are writing historical aspect. Then we are saying cultural aspect. We can start with this. As simple as this. Or further, you can enrich your सब हेडिंग्स भी आप अच्छी तरह से कर सकते हो कि इट इज़ लाइक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, इसमें आपको पॉजिटिव्स भी हैं, नेगेटिव्स भी हैं. व्हाट इज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस? इट हैज़ इट्स पॉजिटिव्स, इट हैज़ नॉट ओनली बून्स बट इट हैज़ बेन्स. ठीक है, तो इस टाइप से भी जो है आप यू कैन यूज सब हेडिंग्स, बट ट्राई टू बी एज सिंपल एज पॉसिबल, बिकॉज जितना आप सिंपल रहोगे आपको खुद को भी समझने और समझाने में ईजी रहेगा, और जो पढ़ रहा है उसके लिए भी it becomes easier. So one way is adding subheadings. Subheadings can be very simple. Subheadings can be a little bit, you can bring some kind of a enrichment to your subheadings by using phrases or some kind of a quote से भी आप कर सकते हो, तो you can do that. But otherwise subheadings कर लो और ask yourself questions what, why, how, as if the reader is sitting in front of you and asking you questions. तो आप उसको logically कैसे समझाओगे, तो that brings the flow. और नहीं है तो you are using the connecting sentences. Not only this but also this. It does not have like, it is not only impacting society but it is also impacting polity. Not only फिर आप further apart from politics, we have seen that this has also impacted the culture, and then even with the advent of technology we have seen further impact on this issue. तो इस तरह से if you start writing it, you can bring the flow. And now let us come to the point of conclusion. Conclusion is equally very, very important, because this is what is your final say. आपने पूरा 1200 वर्ड में लिखा, 800 वर्ड में लिखा, whatever you have written, and then finally what you are concluding, that is very, very important. This is something that is your, what you can say, this is your final statement, this is your final thing that you are talking about. So conclusion is like your finishing line. It should be very clear, बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए, कंफ्यूजन नहीं रखना है आपको लास्ट में. सो इट शुड बी वेरी क्लियर, and whatever you are writing, you write with your authority, because you have to be very, you should take the responsibility of what you have written and what you have concluded. So be very confident in your conclusion, because if they are asking you, can capitalism bring inclusive growth, or should capital punishment be abolished in India? So that is, whatever you have written is your argument, your reasoning. Modern women, myth or reality, what you have written is your reasoning, your conclusion should be there. So you should own it up. आप इसमें अपने confidence को lose करके नहीं दिखाओगे, ना ही you have to feel apologetic. Like say for example, you have written everything and then you are saying I am not a science graduate, I am not an authority to speak about artificial intelligence, but I think these points would help. So what is this? No. You don't become shaky in the end. You have to have your conclusion, which should be very optimistic, it should be futuristic, and it should have some kind, if you really want to suggest something, if you are discussing about a problem, you can conclude with certain suggestions, or you can give certain way forward. So what is the difference between conclusion and way forward? Conclusion is, say for example, you are discussing about, can capitalism bring inclusive growth? Conclusion is yes it can and yes it cannot, depending on how we use it. तो ये आपने conclude किया. तो अब क्या है कि capitalism, we are moving towards capitalism, countries are moving towards capitalism, so capitalism has to be there. तो conclude ये हुआ कि ये कर भी सकता है और ये नहीं भी कर सकता है, depending on how we are using it. और similarly artificial intelligence जो है, it is good also for the society, it is bad for the society. दोनों है इसका एंगल. तो way forward क्या है? Because artificial intelligence is the future. So now way forward is how to utilize it. कैसे आपको इसमें policies बनानी है, how ethical policies should be there, how आपके जो है laws should govern it, how your national laws or international laws should govern this. So that is your way forward. So this is the difference between conclusion and way forward. Some people write it conclusion and way forward, and some people write the suggestion even in your conclusion only. So there is nothing like you have to write separately conclusion and separately your way forward. It is up to you. But the thing is conclusion चाहे आपका topic कितना भी negative हो, because this is a test of your personality. So you have to be very positive about, even if you have a negative topic, if you are talking about some problem, but you have to be very positive, because a positive personality can only understand the issue in a rational manner and look forward for certain suggestions or conclusions to come out of that negative situation. So one thing is that, and when you are suggesting something, it should be, the target should not be for 100 years. Whatever you are suggesting, your suggestions should be very pragmatic, your suggestion should be very practical. It should not be that you are suggesting something which is not practically possible. Pragmatism should be there, because ultimately it is a test of your personality. So whenever you are concluding something, be positive, have a balanced view. You can even leave a question mark. Many times you might have read the articles and where they have seen that if we go on doing this, what might be the future of the world, or what might be the future of the country. Or say for example, जैसे अभी है कि now we are seeing that people are dying of hunger. Even after the pandemic, सब कुछ आपने लिख दिया, pandemic and its impact on people or society, there is an essay, you have written everything, and in the end you might simply write that, जो भी आपने conclude कर दिया, you can still write that this is the mirror on the wall. If as a human we are not able to see it clearly, I doubt where our humanity will lead towards, question mark. You can end up with a thought-provoking sentence also. It's not like you cannot do that. Anything you can do in your essay, but the only thing is वो logical होना चाहिए, उसमें कुछ substance होना चाहिए. So conclusion should be doable. If you are talking about anything, it should be time range. जैसे हमारे SDGs होते हैं, MDGs होते हैं, they are for certain years. 15 years means that is the time frame जो कि प्रैक्टिकल आप देख सकते हो वो कर पा रहे हैं या नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो सिमिलरली इफ यू आर सजेस्टिंग समथिंग, तो यू हैव टू गिव अ टाइम फ्रेम. ऐसा नहीं कि 100 साल के बाद क्या होगा, 200 साल के बाद, दैट इज समथिंग दैट इज फैंटेसी. सो बी प्रैक्टिकल, बी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक, बी पॉजिटिव, एंड conclusion could be thought provoking. You can leave the reader with a question mark, no problem. But yes, conclusion, when you are concluding something, conclude with a authority, conclude with confidence. Shaky होकर के आपको नहीं करना है. That is reflected when you write. Whatever you write, it reflects your personality. And then if it is a purely technical topic, try to bring some humane aspect in the end at least. Say for example, अभी Nobel Peace Prize आपको genetics पे मिला है, ठीक है, scissors पे मिला, genetic scissors, तो उसके pros and cons, उसके आपको benefits के बारे में आपको आ रहा है. But in the last, please add the humane aspect to it. If it is on space technology, purely technical topic, somewhere kahin na kahin, if you could bring some kind of a humane aspect, because ultimately this is not a GS paper 3 science and technology, this is a essay paper, so you have to bring that thing. So introduction could be in any way, conclusion could be in any way, and body जो है आपकी, आप different paragraphs में करोगे, paragraphs के बीच में proper जो है आपका paragraph should be properly like उनका size should be proper. It should not be one is a very big paragraph, another is a very small paragraph. Another thing is, while talking about paragraph, when you are writing, when you are ending one paragraph here, please leave some space and then begin with the another paragraph. Otherwise, sometimes this transition of the paragraph is not very clear, which is not a good presentation. So paragraph जब भी आप एक से दूसरे में आते हो, तो please leave some gap so that one can easily understand, yes, there is a change of the paragraph. Or what you can do is, you are writing one paragraph, लास्ट लाइन आपकी यहाँ आई, जो next line है, you can start from here rather than here and leave some place. So these are some minor things of presentation, but they do matter a lot. So paragraph, introduction and conclusion should not be more than 10 to 15% of your essay. Say for example आप 1000 word का essay लिख रहे हैं, तो that does not mean कि आपका जो है 400 word का introduction हो जाए और 400 word का conclusion हो जाए. No, it should not be. It should be somewhere varying between the 10 to 15% of your total words. मान लो 1000 word है, तो आपके 10 से 15 जो है आपके 10 to 15% should be your introduction and similar should be your conclusion. And when you supposedly you have begun your essay with writing a story, so if you have started with the story, say for example poverty के ऊपर है कोई या social empowerment के ऊपर है, and you have started with कि how a girl which was initially which was not well educated or something like that, or she was a child, she had gone through a child marriage or she has become a child widow, but over the period of time how she has understood her like she was how over the period of time she got education, she became aware and she again started enjoying life. And then last में जब आप लिखोगे तो शुरू में जैसे आपने लिखा child widow थी, she was under problem this that ये वो, and then how over the period of time जो है वो child widow वो नहीं रही, now she is enjoying life. तो आप उसको शुरू से लेके end तक try to link it. आपका वो एक holistic picture लगता है when you have started linking it the story that you have started in the introduction और उसको conclusion में link कर दो. If you are talking about say there are two people, one is educated, one is not educated, or one is aware about his rights, the other is not aware about the rights, फिर आपने दोनों की story parallel चलाई और conclusion में दिखाया कि जो one that I started with who is aware of the rights, how is his life, other who is not aware उसकी life कैसे. तो the point is try to link. If you have started with the story, try to bring the characters or try to bring that story somewhere in 2-3 lines in the end also, so that it looks very holistic. So introduction and conclusion, this is very important. And if you are starting with anecdote or you are starting with some story, try to bring it somewhere in the end also, so that holistic सा आपका picture आता है. Flow के लिए simply write the subheadings. People say subheading mat likho, but there are so many articles where we have seen subheadings, we have seen so many toppers talking about subheadings, so it means UPSC gives marks. ठीक है, तो UPSC ऐसा नहीं कि आपको marks नहीं देती subheadings लिखने में. Subheadings could be simple, subheadings could be a little bit जहाँ पे आप उनको enrich करके लिख सकते हो, but don't make them dual meaning वाला या वैसा subheadings लिख दो कि जिसको पहले subheading को समझने के लिए examiner को time लगे, वैसा नहीं. ठीक है. Or you ask questions why, how, as if the reader is sitting in front of you and asking you questions, तो आप वैसे कर सकते हो. So there are different ways of bringing the flow. And जितना बोलने में easy लग रहा है, जब तक आप practice नहीं करोगे, it is you are not going to get the perfection. So please practice it only then. Essay के लिए सुनना is one thing, but ultimately you have to practice writing. जब तक आप लिखोगे नहीं, वो practice नहीं होती है. And overall अदरवाइज जैसे आपके और जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं कि किस टाइप से एसेज में जो हैं आपकी हाईलाइटिंग, एज आई टोल्ड यू इनिशियली, फ्रीक्वेंटली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चन हाईलाइट करना है या नहीं करना है. यस, if you really want to highlight, जो we have taken the example of a discotheque, we have taken the example of a museum, and we have taken the example of the rooms in our home. So depending on that, आप highlight करो like a museum, where you really want to highlight the things that you want to show, which is important. If you are highlighting everything, the importance of highlighting is gone. And when you are highlighting, there are different ways of highlighting. What you can do is, say for example, you have written something like constitutional morality, and you want that, yes, examiner should see that. One way is you simply put a line under it, or another way is, if you do not want to underline like this, you write it in italics. constitutional, don't underline it, but you write it in italics, means you have highlighted it. So it all depends on you, but and highlighting should also not be more than 10% of your total content. अब ये नहीं है कि 1000 वर्ड में जो है आपने 500 वर्ड हाईलाइट कर दिए, out of 1000 words you have highlighted 500, so you have defeated the purpose of highlighting. So when it is not more than 10% of your essay, इससे ज़्यादा कर दोगे तो it becomes like your discotheque, so everything is highlighted, आपको कुछ पता ही नहीं चलेगा क्या देखना है क्या नहीं है. So it is important that it should not be 10%, not more than 10% of the whole essay. And then there is another thing is like whenever you are writing an essay, there should be an undercurrent of your essay. Undercurrent means your whole personality gets reflected, आपकी personality के जो basics हैं वो इसमें रिफ्लेक्ट होते नहीं चाहिए. देयर शुड बी अंडर करेंट, मीन्स योर एसे शुड नॉट गो बियॉन्ड व्हाट इज योर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन टॉकिंग. नॉट बियॉन्ड मीन्स इट शुड नॉट गो अगेंस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. योर एसे शुड नॉट रिफ्लेक्ट एनीवेयर दैट यू आर एंटी विमेन, you are anti particular caste or class, you are having some biases. It should not be there. Your essay should reflect, or your writing should reflect that you have respect for constitution, you have respect for basic moral values, you have respect for basic human rights. It should not be कि नहीं कुछ भी लिख दो कहीं भी लिख दो. No, that undercurrents talks about your personality. When people speak or when you talk to people, आप कहते हो ना कि वो बोल कुछ रहा था लेकिन अंदर उसके जो चल रहा था वो रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा था. So that is what कि आप कितना भी लिख रहे हो, इफ़ यू आर समवेयर, आपने एक जगह पे भी आपने ह्यूमन राइट को गलत बता दिया, आपने जो है पर्टिकुलर कास्ट एंड कम्युनिटी को गलत बता दिया, तो समवेयर इट शोज कि आप बाकी चीज़ें तो यू आर जस्ट राइटिंग टू गेट मार्क्स, बट येस दिस इज द अंडर करेंट ऑफ योर पर्सनैलिटी. सो यू शुड नेवर बी राइटिंग अगेंस्ट विमेन, यू शुड नॉट बी राइटिंग अगेंस्ट योर like differently able or third gender. You should appear as a person, and you should not appear, rather you should be a person. If you really want to be a civil servant, you should be a person respecting these values, you should be a person of ethics, you should be a person respecting human rights, human values, human virtues, your constitution. So this undercurrent should be there, that is reflected in your writing. So these undercurrents, please don't forget about it. Don't get like over जैसे कहते हैं ना बह जाना, लिखते लिखते आप भूल जा रहे हो आप लिख क्या रहे हो, एक तरफ आप कुछ बोल रहे हो दूसरी तरफ जो है आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से कंट्राडिक्ट कर रहे हैं. So don't get swayed away. So these things have to be kept in mind when you're writing UPSC essays. So these are some of the things which are generally asked. Questions like कि ऐसे की प्रिपरेशन कैसे करनी है, क्या करना है, टॉपिक्स को कैसे लेना है, कैसे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करनी है, and then underlining करनी है कि नहीं, can we write quotes from other languages, can we write quotes like this or without naming the person who has given that quote. So these are some of the frequently asked questions. So we have tried to cover that. But yes, again I would say that the essay is one thing where you need to practice. वही बात है कि one of the most common mistakes is that this is the most neglected paper, and don't neglect this paper. This paper gives you very good scores, and this is very doable paper. Whether you are from technical background, whether you are from rural background, whether you do not have a very good command over your lexicon or vocabulary, but if you understand the topic, if you understand the subject, and if you are able to comprehend it, you are able to write it in a logical manner, you are going to get marks. ठीक है, तो please prepare this paper. And in the end, if I have to say, like for essay, you have to have the practice of brainstorming. Please start doing that. And You have to, it is like acronym fresh. You have to be very fast. You have to be rational. You have to be efficient, or you have to be straight. You have to be holistic in your approach towards essay. Means fast, you have to think very fast. Rational, you cannot think irrational things. You have to be very efficient, effective. Then you have to be straight. Straight means to the point. That is what UPSC का जो syllabus है, in the opening line it is saying that the marks, you do not have to move away from the subject. You have to be in line, in tune with the demand of the topic. So be very straightforward rather than इधर उधर की बात करने के, main topics पे, main points पे focus करो, because generally what happens is हम जो भूमिका बनाने लगते हैं, हम जो पूरा paraphrasing करने लगते हैं, तो sometimes we forget what is the main thing that has to be written. So that has to be there, and it has to have a holistic picture. Your essay should have a holistic picture, means they're like only social, political, ये वो सबको आप अलग अलग करके नहीं लिखोगे. These things should be used to give a wider picture. You should have a wider concept. You should have a wider understanding. You should have a holistic idea, and you should have a holistic opinion about that particular topic, rather than segregated इधर उधर से नहीं. If you are having a holistic opinion, पहले कभी भी when you are seeing a question paper, you see the topics properly. जो आपको topic लगता है कि I am most comfortable at writing this topic, please give time, think. उसमें आप brainstorming करो, brainstorming करने में भी time लगा दो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But once you start writing, तो वो ठीक रहता है, rather than कि brainstorming में time कम लगाना and we start writing and then we realize, oh, this is not right, so we cut it and then we start writing again. So that is, your time management becomes an issue. So think in a holistic manner. To fetch very good marks in essay, you need to have your length, breadth, depth, everything in your thinking. And again I would say that you do not need to do something extra for the essays. What you are studying, what you are doing is good enough. The only thing is, start thinking on the issues, start doing the brainstorming, start analyzing the things, start interlinking the things to get the holistic picture. So that is going to help you in getting good essays. And we will, in the test series also, we will be taking up different topics and we will be discussing each and every topic and in different manners. Like one essay could be written in different ways. So we will be doing all these things in our test series. We will be doing at least 40 topics, and we will be trying to do the brainstorming on every topic, how to bring flow, what are the ways how we could introduce it, how we can conclude it. But again, I would say that please don't neglect this paper. This is a very, very doable paper. This is a very, very marks fetching paper. So make your thought process fresh and score good marks in the essays. All the best.